Hey guys, just give me a quick minute to figure everything out. Somehow my settings got changed. Do not even know if you guys can hear me. Let's see here. Alright, making progress. I need to be better prepared next time. This is very odd that all my settings got removed and I have to like manually re-add them. Okay, let's get the webcam in there. Oh, is this webcam not plugged in? That would explain a lot. Nope, it is. It's strange. There we go. There we go. My apologies for the delay, everybody. Somehow all of my settings got taken down. Embarrassing. Quite embarrassing. Alright. And sorry we're starting a little bit late. There was a mishap, or, just a misunderstanding with the Watch Trading Academy Mastermind. So that, if you're in Watch Trading Academy, you already know what happened. It's not a big deal or whatever. So PJ answered some questions, and I'll have to go back and watch the recording for, what I missed. Because the timings were off, with daylight savings and stuff, I imagine. So, alright. Let me just double check that we're all good to go for the stream here. Because, let me turn this light up. Let me make this brighter for you guys. Okay, I have webcam, audio input, screen capture. That should be good. And I should be streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. YouTube I see. Let's see if I'm on Twitch. Let me just, for safety reasons, put it over here. Okay, cool. I am live. Awesome. All right, much better. Much better. All right, am I live on YouTube? Not seeing it. Let's see here. All right, much better. Much better. Okay, cool. We're live on everything. Good to go. All right, let me get chat open. All right, apologize for the delay, everybody. We're pretty much good to go now. Reporting to you live from the Airbnb in Florida. News surprise, or what is it? News flash. I moved to Florida, and I'm now trading full time. So, all right. Solid 12 minutes late, but this will work. All right. All right, let's get started. Once again, sorry for the delay, guys. Mastermind call with Watch Trading Academy went longer than expected, and then I went to go launch my stream, and for some reason, all my settings were gone, and I had to manually figure out how to launch the stream again properly. So, but now we're good to go. Welcome to Mohi Media. Let's do some deal hunting. Some updates since a month ago, the last time I deal hunted. I still actually have no inventory because last month was a very turbulent month for me. I went from doing a little bit of trading and looking for some jobs to move down here to Florida to I'm just gonna trade watches full time. Like I don't want to do the whole job thing anymore. Uh, and then I got a business loan, which is really cool for anybody that's watching this that is wholesaler, dealer, watch trader, etc. eBay, if you're selling your stuff on eBay, eBay's been kind of sending out mail and also notifying people on their profiles about a eBay seller capital through Lending Point, and it's effectively a chance for a business loan based on the performance of how you did how you do on eBay, and then also obviously the metrics you have. And without giving away too many details, the interest rate isn't like amazing by any stretch of the imagination. But if you're in like Watch Trading Academy, it should be fine. And also, it probably depends on your business credit. But what kind of surprised me is they loaned me somewhere around 70, maybe 60%, but I think closer to 70%. No, hold on. Yeah, 60%. Exactly 60%. They loaned me 60% of last year's revenue. Now, I don't know how much that has to do, like, if is it really 60% of revenue, or did it have more to do with my income as to why that number became my business loan? But what's even crazier is, and this is probably the trade-off for the higher interest rate, no income verification and no credit check, which is, I mean, the last time I heard that was 2007, 2008, 2006 as well. So that's not the greatest sign in the world, but uh, if you're smart with your money and you know what you're doing, get access to capital now while money via loans is still cheap. At these lower percentages, and or in this case where they're loaning it without verifying income or verifying uh, uh, doing a credit check, for example. Now, and I guess, mind you, it's a little bit different, right? Because I'm applying for a business loan. Like, it's different if you loan somebody some money personally, but to loan it to their business, maybe their restraints are a little bit lower. But in my experience, banks are like not friendly to loaning to new businesses. There's kind of the joke that the people that get business loans are the ones that don't need them, because your business is doing so well that the bank is happy to give you loans because you've already proven you're doing really well. If you're not doing very well, now you're risky, and now it's kind of weird, like, because this is not how banks used to be a long time ago. But now, even in the economy we're in, or we were prior, where interest rates are like nothing, money's easy to come by for these banks. Even in that scenario, they still weren't willing to lend to these new businesses. A lot of the like Bank of America, for example, wants you to be in business for 2 years, and at least my guy told me that they'll usually lend around 10% of revenue. So if you're in the watch business and you make $1 million revenue last year, this year they'll lend you 100K, and then as you do a good job at managing that money, I'm sure it goes up. Uh, so yeah, if you're thinking about going full time, if you're thinking, hey, I'm doing this really well, I'd really like to scale faster. You've been doing it for some time and successfully, might be a good idea to access that capital, uh, as it's available. So eBay seller financing, your business bank will do it. Whoever you have your business checking account will do it. The big banks, obviously, like they all have their standards, and then some of the smaller, more niche banks will be a little bit more flexible, but the terms might not be as favorable. And then this kind of ties into if anybody's in the Exotic Car Hacks Facebook group, somebody asked a question essentially, which is the sister company to Watch Trading Academy. They don't function the same, but the underlying principle of how they work is the same. One's for cars, one's for watches. So in Exotic Car Hacks, somebody asked about because I guess they're doing so well with their cars, they asked about selling their entire stock portfolio to park the money in watches instead. I mean, sorry, in their cars instead. Which to most people, I mean that probably sounds insane. If you've kind of seen the market recently and you know some of the tricks and tips in Exotic Car Hacks, it doesn't sound so crazy. Would I recommend it? And I'm not somebody that can make those kind of recommendations. Talk to a CPA, etc. But I think most people would say it's probably not the greatest idea to sell your entire stock portfolio to to buy cars. But even if like they genuinely would be a better place to park money, probably don't want to sell your entire portfolio. It's all about managing your portfolio and balancing where you have money and not having it too concentrated in any asset class. But somebody, and I won't name them, I know who it is, but somebody brought up the idea that a lot of the times when people have assets, like you have a stock portfolio, you have real estate, you have whatever, rather than sell the item to get the cash to get the other thing you want, you can borrow against it, right? Like if you have a house, you can borrow against it with a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. You're basically saying, here's this house that I own, and because it's worth this much, a certain percentage of how much this house is worth, let me borrow that as cash from you. And clearly, like if I can't pay my bills, uh, looks like you can have my house to help cover those bills, right? And believe it or not, and I promise we'll get to the actual watch hunting, but I'm on a rant here. I'm on a roll. Don't stop me. It's to a greater extent that's actually how like billionaires move their money around, where they have such massive portfolios of stock, like these people like Elon Musk, etc., where they have just, I mean, Elon's like worth like 300 billion, 200 billion, whatever it is. The vast majority of that is the stock in SpaceX and Tesla. It's not like he has that in his bank account. He would need to sell all of that stock to actually have the 200 billion, 300 billion, whatever it is. And if he was to start selling Tesla stock or SpaceX stock like crazy, that would be a huge red flag to everybody else, and they'd all pile in and they'd all start selling. It would start a huge sell off, and so as he starts selling, there's less and less buyers because when you sell a stock, somebody has to be on the other end and buy it, right? And at some point you run out of buyers, and the value of the stock plummets. So if he's worth 200 billion, starts selling off stock, the value is going to plummet, and every share that gets sold is going to be worth less and less and less and less. And then again, you at some point you run out of buyers, right? So Elon would never do that. Instead, what Elon can do, and this is what all the billionaires do to a degree, is they borrow against it. So Elon or any other billionaire, I'm just using Elon as an example, can go to a big like hedge fund, bank, etc. I think a lot of billionaires do it in London. I guess London's like very, it's used all the time for this. But this happens at all the big banks, I'm sure. But long story short, Elon shows up and offers, and he'd probably have to piece it out between the different banks. But he goes up to, a bank in London and says, "I have 200 billion in stock that I'm giving you access to, and I would like to, take a line of credit out, an ELOC instead of a HELOC. HELOC is home equity line of credit. ELOC is equity line of credit. So it's an equity line of credit against his stock portfolio or whatever portfolio. It could be a combination of like real estate, stocks, other things that he owns, right? And the bank will take that, and because he's giving them so much like money to work with, uh, the interest rate becomes like amazing. And so, maybe not in the Elon example of like just borrowing directly against his stock, but like, um, essentially what I'm getting at here is the interest rates get so low that, you're living on loans, but the interest rate is like 0.2% because you gave them like 100 billion worth of stuff, and they're a bank, like they're going to use that 100 billion to make all sorts of crazy amounts of money, so they're happy to give you, only charge you an interest rate of 0.2% on your money, because they're going to make so much more money using your 100 billion essentially. So maybe I didn't explain that in the best of ways. I'll do a video on that at some point. But long story short, these billionaires, they live on these equity lines of credit, and then take loans out against them to live off of. And the whole premise is that the thing that they borrowed against, the stocks, will go up in value, and so they're never actually like losing. And every now and then you do a little bit of a sell off to when your bills come due, you sell off a little bit of stock, but by then it's appreciated by a crazy amount if you've been running your business successfully, and you just keep doing that. And what's crazy is you can, I'm I learned this from an economics explained video, but like what you could actually do is if you got an equity line of credit against a portfolio of some kind, uh, you could then, like, let's say you got 100 million equity line of credit, you could then use that money and buy a $50 million yacht, still have the 50 million that you didn't spend on the yacht, and then take out an equity line of credit against the $50 million yacht to and they might let you get 30 million. So now you have, let's say, 80, and so you have 80 million like cash, but now you have a like a little, it's a line of credit, but it shows up as cash in your bank, and now you have a $50 million yacht, and that is finance at that big boy level. Like that is that's how that works to a degree. I'm not an expert. I'm not a an accountant or anything, but that's loosely how it is. Feel free to look that up. So anyway, let's go ahead and start looking at some watches. So here's kind of what's happening. I'm trading full time now, trading watches full time, and not going back to engineering. I'm in an Airbnb for the moment. I'm moving into like my actual place at the end of the month. It's currently March, and so here we are trading full time. I have my own cash. I have some business loans, etc. I still have some credit cards that I can use to buy watches, and I don't have any. And it's very hard to become the Ivy League's watch guy if you don't have watches. So that is what we'll be doing today. I'm gonna keep it somewhere between, like, let's say, I mean, unless I see some crazy deal, I don't think I'll be buying anything more expensive than 15K today, but the idea is we're going to spend the full 50K. So let's go ahead and get started. As I search, again, I'll be talking about what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking, and then periodically looking over to see if anybody's joined the chat. I apologize for how dark it is. I only have my webcam light here. Again, this is an Airbnb. It's not my normal studio, but I moved down here with just my clothes and my computer. I'll be flying back to Chicago to move some stuff into storage because I need to figure out like, where do I really want to live, and then bring that stuff down. And in the meantime, travel very light. So it's a very, very exciting, scary time to be me. So, but we have watches to save the day. So let's go ahead and get started. As I'm sharing on the screen here, I have eBay up, Chrono 24, Watch Recon, and then uh, I'm gonna start using a little bit of let's see. This is called Watch Scout. It's a feature of having Watch Trading Academy in the Mastermind. So I'll be using that today too. I'm gonna make a video on that at some point as well, sometime soon, explaining how to like use that tool. I have a whole, like, I know I've only gone live twice, but I have a whole plethora of videos recorded. I just have to edit them all together, and I've been being very lazy and don't want to edit them because it's work. Shooting videos is fun. Editing them together is not fun, to me at least. As it's a huge learning curve for me. But the game plan is, as I'm doing these lives, and I'll do them way more consistently now that I'm like trying to like seriously move inventory and do this full time. I have a lot of content I can record, and then now I don't have an excuse. Like, now I can just record the YouTube videos about watches, about the business, about money, finance, etc., photography, anything that has like any of these topics that interest me that are kind of related to the whole money management. And here we're applying it strictly with watches, but I like finance, and I'll be talking about any area that I have some degree of competency. I think I have a good idea of what I know and don't know, and well, not what I know and don't know, but rather where do I know more than most people, and then where am I really not qualified? Like, for example, like real estate, like, yeah, I know more than the average person about real estate, but compared to like someone that actually does it, I've never like done it before. I've never, bought and sold houses. I've never wholesaled a house or anything like that. So it to me it comes off as like insincere to go on and like, I could Google a bunch of stuff and talk about real estate, and if I do make videos about real estate and it's all stuff that I recently Googled, I will disclose that, versus topics that I am confident I'm past like the Dunning-Kruger effect curve and I really have a deep knowledge of. Those things, I'm more comfortable talking about. So that's like personal finance, money, etc. As maybe my equity line of credit example was kind of an idea. Like, most people don't know like that's a thing, to borrow against things. And just to close the loop on that discussion, so basically people were saying, instead of selling your stock portfolio to park your money in these cars that are appreciating in value, and it's more fun to drive an investment than it is have stocks just sitting in a portfolio, especially while they're down in this economy. The idea was, hey, you can borrow against your stock. So a lot of these banks that have brokerages like Schwab, Wells Fargo, etc. I'm not recommending anything. I'm just saying that, these places that have brokerage accounts, they have some way that you can borrow against a certain percentage of your stock portfolio. And, if I remember right, I think Schwab was like, if you have 2.5 million in stock, they'll let you borrow. I don't remember what the percentage was, but a certain percentage of that 2.5 million in stock, they will let you borrow that at like a 1.9% interest rate. So think about that. Schwab is at 2.5 million in stocks that you're, offering them. They're willing to lend at 1.9. Imagine what these billionaires do when they show up with a billion, 10 billion, 50 billion, right? Think of how low their interest rates get. If 2.5 million, which is a crazy distance away from a billion, that's already down to 1.9%. That's almost free money as it is. Even if you have some like horrible return on your money, you can still do better than 1.9% in most cases. If you have any, if you're in real estate, you're in stocks or whatever. Again, I'm not recommending anybody take a line of credit against their stocks and go buy cars or real estate or anything. I'm not saying that, but some people do it, and chances are, if you would have already known that if you were in a position to take advantage of it. But now you know. and maybe in the future it makes sense for you. So I will leave that up to you. I can't give you any advice on that matter. Talk to your CPA. I'm just some kid on, well, I'm 27, but I'm some guy on YouTube. So it is what it is. Anyway, uh, let's look for some watches. Somewhere around, I'd like to stay above 5 grand, maybe a couple pieces under 5 grand, but really I want to stick to like 5 to 10, up to 15. Again, I buy the deal. I don't buy the specific watch. If there's like 5 grand to be made in a watch at 10K, I'm gonna take that deal. If there's something I think I can buy for 10 and sell for 15, I would take that deal regardless of what watch it is, as long as, well, not regardless of what watch it is, but if it's somewhat known, I'll market it and I can figure that out. Like if it's like a Ulysse Nardin or an IWC or something, I can do that. If it's more like I don't know, some of these more obscure brands, I won't like think of like a brand that's like 2 degrees off of like the main bread and butter brands that everybody knows in the watch world, right? Some of these more niche micro brands or whatever, where the buyer is who knows how long till one comes along. Okay, then maybe I won't take the 5K deal. I won't take that margin, but chances are I would take that deal. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. I always like to start with Omega, just because I really like Omegas, and then Panerai, and then now that I'm working with this much capital, IWC, Ulysse Nardin makes a lot of sense. Breitling, for some of the under 5K pieces, I might do Breitling, and then we'll see what we find. Sometimes life is surprising. So let me just take a quick drink, and we'll go ahead and get started. We have 2 viewers. Who is in the chat? Let's see. Oh, I just realized my 1 second. Let me open up Twitch. I'm sorry. Let me open up YouTube so I can see if anybody's on my YouTube. I thought my streaming platform was showing me both streams. It's actually only showing me Twitch. Let's see. Once again, my apologies for the delay. We are about to go ahead and get started. Like actually searching watches. I went on a... Once you get me going, I can just sit there and talk about a bunch of things for forever. So let's see here. Me. All right. Okay, so there's no chats in YouTube and on Twitch. So that's fine. I can just keep going then. Okay. Oh, actually, I think I figured out on my overlay how to look at both stream chats, and then I can tab over and figure out, where to talk. So, okay, let's go ahead, get started. I have, when I'm deal hunting, I like to keep a notebook just so I can like write down kind of what I was looking at and where I was at with things, and take general notes, maybe do a little bit of analysis here. Like I said, I have eBay up, Chrono 24, Watch Recon, and Watch Scout, which is a feature that Watch Trading Academy members that have the mastermind have access to. So I'll be using all of those. As I kind of said in the previous video, I learned how to do this by taking an online course called Watch Trading Academy. I took some of the advanced courses as well. I'm friends with a lot of the people that are involved in Watch Trading Academy, or I guess like everyone. And I will not be disclosing anything that's like proprietary to the course, but I'm happy to answer questions, again, as long as it doesn't, as long as like if it's something where I'm like, hey man, like that's something I learned in the course, that's not something you can really figure out on your own, go, I'll refer you to the course, and I might even like know off the top of my head which video to look at, but I'm here to answer questions, here to kind of explain my thought process as I'm hunting watches, and I'll probably do this for a couple hours, to be honest. Last time, I think it was 2.5. I've just spent the first 20 minutes of this one ranting about finance. So, buckle in, get a drink or whatever. Let's hang out. It's Monday night. Let's make some money. Let's spend some money, 50K. And Super Guy 700. Hey, I'm in WTA 1 and I'm trying to learn. Glad to have you here. Uh, I appreciate you joining. I wish I knew your real name. Maybe I've seen you in the group or not. I'm not sure. Usually, like if I see people's like names or their Facebook icons, I almost always like know who they are. I'm always on that page on the Facebook group. But Super Guy 700, feel free to ask your questions and I will answer. If there's anything, I mean, just to make this fun, like if there's a watch you want me to like look at, uh, or a model, not the specific watch. Don't like link the. I don't know if you'd be able to link what you're looking at, just to get my thoughts on it or whatever. But if you want to make this a little bit more interactive, happy to do that. And happy to have somebody in WTA here. I guess I should also then just really get this across here. I'm doing this on my own. Like nobody in Watch Trading Academy asked me to do this. I learned from them. Fully supportive of Watch Trading Academy. What else to say? I'm not by any means like trying to represent them in any way. I don't work for them. I don't have an affiliate link to give you. So, you know, like I'm just being helpful here, I guess, by might as well document my own journey here now as a full-time trader, and then help some of the people in part one learn a couple things. And again, I will be making like not live YouTube videos, but more normal YouTube videos. Uh, discussing the watch market and whatnot from my perspective as a rookie trader. Uh, you know, a lot of the YouTube videos will be here's how you look at this watch from a trader perspective. Here's how you look at it from a retail buyer perspective, and where they kind of meet in the middle. And then also videos on personal finance, business, etc. Just cool things that are kind of sort of related to just business. Um, I would use the word entrepreneurship, but that word is overplayed. As if you've spent any time with PJ, you'll learn a lot of people overuse the word entrepreneurship when they really mean small business owner. So I'll say entrepreneurship because that's like the category in YouTube. But anything I've learned through my failures in entrepreneurship, I'll share in YouTube videos as well. So okay, I know I've said this like 3 times. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's spend some money. Let's do this. All right. So as always, I always start off super general. I like starting with Omega just because that is the brand I like to have in inventory a lot. It's a brand I'm very partial to, right? And if you tuned in on the last stream, essentially the name of the game is looking for listings that suck, that are bad, like bad photos. The person like doesn't really know what they're doing because they're not an eBay seller or whatever. If there's somebody like a dealer, if I'm looking at like stock photos, like this is a stock photo. I mean, first of all, there's a lot to like take in here. This thing was listed at almost $40,000. It's at 63% off at $14,000. I mean, it looks like a pretty complicated watch. It's rose gold. I've only once or twice heard of this brand. Oh, and here's the crazy thing. This watch is brand new, and it's 63% off. That is a sign that, I mean, think about what that means. That means that the dealer selling this got it at such a price that they can sell it brand new for 63% off, and they're still going to make money, which means they're buying even below that. They might be buying this at like 30, 40 cents on the dollar. And then kind of how they'll market a piece like this is, you're in a store in Vegas or you're in a store somewhere and you're looking at all the watches you like, and then you see this and you're like, oh, that looks kind of cool. And they're like, yeah, you won't believe we've got a crazy deal going on that right now. That's a $40,000 watch that we're offering for just 15 grand. And you're like, wow, what a deal. And they convince like, wow, 60% off. I've never heard of that in the watch business. What a crazy deal. And then maybe you buy it because it feels like a good deal, 60% off. That's crazy, right? And then a week later, you come in to trade it in. You didn't really like it or whatever, and they might offer you like 3 grand on it. Tops. I'm making those numbers up. I don't know what they are for Parmigiani Tonda, but that is like on these brands that no one's really heard of, like the margins get that crazy. And also, you made it pre-owned now instead of brand new, so yeah, it's if you're new to watch trading or even watch collecting as a retail buyer, stick to the brands everybody loves. It's much easier to be a collector when your wallet doesn't hurt, I imagine. And after you have the things you want, okay, now maybe experiment with these other things where you don't care about the money. But as you're entering the hobby for the first time, it would be really nice if it didn't hurt your wallet, right? So, all right, Super Guy 700. Thank you for your question. We have, and I'm only repeating it just for the people that are watching on Twitch or however they're watching. Maybe they can't see your question as it comes in, but the question is, what is your opinion on Tag Heuer and Longines? I'm on a minimum budget. Man, assuming you're a man, I have been there. I know what that's like. Tag Heuer is fine. Um, a lot of watches available for like under 2K. There's certain Tag Heuers that are worth it even above 2K. Like off the top of my head, um, the oh man, I'm gonna mess this up. It is wow. Do I really not remember this? It is the square case Tag Heuer that wow, I'm totally blanking on this because I'm live. But if it's a Tag Heuer that's square in the case and it's associated with a famous actor from a car related movie from I want to say the 80s. Whoever it was that bad boy archetype guy from the 70s or 80s. Man, I don't remember his name. I haven't seen the movie, but that watch trades like much higher than 2K. But usually a lot of tags they're like 2 something K brand new, and you want to be buying them for like under 1,000 used, so you can sell them for close to 1,000 or 1,500 or something. The Tag Heuer Carrera, the 1887, etc. Those are all. I think they're really cool watches. I actually really like tags, and funny enough, um, before Watch Trading Academy, my like goal by 30 was to buy a Tag Heuer a Tag Heuer Carrera for like 2.5K, and I was like, man, like maybe by the time I'm like 50 or 60, I can afford a Rolex. And this was assuming I was going to be a career engineer for all my life, and I could justify spending that much money on a watch. And then joined Watch Trading Academy, and like that same year, I bought a watch that was worth like 20K. So 20K MSRP. I didn't pay 20K, but you get the idea. Like I went from being, man, I really hope I can have this 2.5K watch by the time I'm 30 to buying a like 18K MSRP watch at 24, 23 or something. So so power of Watch Trading Academy. So getting back to your question, my opinion on Tag Heuer and Longines. They have a buyer base. You got to buy them like really cheap. There is money to be made on them, but the buyer base is not going to be as like pleasant to work with as these higher end watches. And what I mean by pleasant to work with is simply if you're buying a watch like under 5K, 90% of the consumers are just looking for like they are price shoppers. Like they're just looking for the best deal. They don't care about like the concierge service that someone like me offers. They don't care about like they just want an aggressive deal. It's the people that want to buy something on sale. And like I said, there's money to be made, but from a client perspective, like how long until they buy their next watch, right, from you, and you'll experience this like especially as you approach like I feel like 10K is a sweet spot. 10K watches is when deals are smooth and easy for brands other than Rolex, basically, where people know what they want, they know how this works, they know how to move money around. Like you don't have to hold their hand as much. It's so much like less of a headache dealing with buyers above 10K because it's not their first watch. This is their like third or something, and their time is like valuable. They don't want to sit here and argue over $200 on a $10,000 purchase. Whereas on a $1,000 purchase, $200 is 20%, right? And you're going to sit there and argue about $200 for a couple days to try and like make this deal work. Like, do you see the problem? Like, how much is your time worth if you're sitting there arguing over $200? Uh, but like I said, plenty of people in Watch Trading Academy have bought and sold tag hewers and made some money, and then I will just say like rapidly get to above 2K, or if saving up until like 2.5K, etc. If you could avoid buying until you have like 2.5K, and you could maybe buy like an Omega Speedmaster reduced, much better starting point in my opinion. With Longines, it's in my opinion less popular than Tag Heuer. I mean, it's got a diehard fan base, but again, there's just really like not that much money to be made. I don't know if it could even like qualify as worth your time. So they have some cool watches. Don't get me wrong. I think they look cool. I think they're like nice watches. I don't hate them. Like I said, I wanted a Tag Heuer, for example, as my dream watch. I know there is some nice Longines watches out there, but as far as like if you're in Watch Trading Academy, you're new to this, do what it takes to maybe like chill out, go through the course again, take notes, absorb the content in the Facebook group, and then uh, by that point you'll have like 2.5K saved, and you have so many more options. Uh, the buyer pool is bigger and better, and there's more money to be made. So I would do that instead. But like I said, there are some solid tag hewers out there. If you're gonna do tag hewer, I would stick to the Carrera or the 1887 line. I don't know about I think it's called like the tag hewer like Link series. Aqua racers are fine too, but like again, you don't want to buy the old stuff. Like buy like because you have to like compete in today's market. Like I don't know who wants like a 10-year-old tag heuer Carrera. Again, if we're talking about that square case one that I was talking about earlier, different story. Again, different story, but for the most part, you want something like an 1887, which is going to be listed around 2K. You're going to want it for significantly less than that, and like I said, I've kind of repeated myself here, but there's money to be made. There is better money as soon as you can cross over that $2,000 barrier. There's just better options. Like I like an Omega Speedmaster Reduced is a great starter watch, uh, and I would pick that over every tag hewer basically, and definitely, and I would pick like most tag hewers, if not every tag hewer, over every Longines from a watch trading perspective, not retail collecting, hobby buying, whatever. Like that's a different game. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. Let's go ahead and get started. Well, we did start, but anyway, so the name of the game is I'm not going to look for sponsored listings as much. I don't normally do that, but I am looking for listings like this where, here, I'll just show you. I am looking for listings like this where the photo is like whatever. See how it's cut off on the sides? That means this person didn't size their photo to the right size. And this picture is like fine. It just so shows they have a watch, but it's not like super attractive. This might be S Chance Time Company. I may have just, let's see here. I can't tell if this. Oh, this might be like a new seller or something. Just based on their like eBay name. But I am looking for listings like this. It's nice this person added their photos of the watch on a time. This is called a time grapher here to measure the accuracy of the watch. This person kind of knows what they're doing because they have the means of removing the solid case back on this, so you can see the movement on this piece. But this is like a vintage watch. I'm not a fan of these. I'm not a fan of like vintage Omegas in general because this thing's listed at 21. Let's say I bought it at like 14. Well, if it needs a service, that service could easily end up costing like $400. So, I mean, there's your entire margin just gone off of a service, right? And if this watch is probably from the 90s or something, like early 90s, probably needs a service. So, uh, yeah, you see the problem, right? Vintage Rolex, totally different ball game, right? There's a lot of money to be had there, so it kind of makes sense. Let's see. Look, is this a seller? This is very odd phrasing. The owner collector wants to move up to a Breitling. Are they talking about themselves as the third person? Mm-mm-mm. Papers were lost to the ravages of time. I like this person. I don't want this watch though. And I don't know if they're trying to get into the business of selling watches. Let's see what their other items are. Yeah, these are. I mean, this is someone a hobby selling some old collector stuff, but just not my thing. So, but I am looking for listings like this where there's not a lot of information in the buyer in the description. This is an important phrase here. This person is disclosing that they want to sell this, and this is giving you leverage. This is really important. You want to look for this, or when you're negotiating with people, uh, try and get this kind of out of them. Is why are they trying to sell it? Because this person, they're saying that they want to move up to a Breitling Navitimer. Great watch. What they've essentially told you is to have the money to buy a Breitling Navitimer, they have to sell this. They have a problem. Some amount of money is trapped inside this watch, and they need that money to get a Navitimer. You or whoever the buyer is now the solution to their problem of, hey, you need the money out of this watch to go buy the new toy you want, Navitimer. That's how you have to like come at the negotiation. It's a dance. You're solving their problem of their money is trapped in this watch, right? And they probably already know what the dealer is willing to buy it for or whatever, so you need to come in a little bit higher than that. And but there has to be a margin to be made here. You can see this box is like this is like that classic red Omega box. A lot of these are beaten up like this, so I don't know how much people like really care anymore, but a lot of them are peeled and messed up like this. I've only had a couple that were in like really, really good condition. But it's not like the most appealing thing. But yeah, so not doing vintage today. Let's see here. I don't love this photo, but just the way that it's staged, this kind of strikes me that they might be some hobby trader or something. Their shipping only being $12.65 is kind of, it's like a red flag, or in my case a green flag. But let's see here. Are they? I actually can't tell that. I mean, they put decent effort into this ad. I would bet this person is on like watch forums or like a watch related like Facebook group, just because of how they are talking about this watch, just how they're like, it's very clear that they've kind of seen how other people sell their watches online, and he's just using that same verbiage. um Shipped and insured, they say that, but it's $12 shipping. That doesn't make sense. Their name kind of looks familiar. That's concerning. But let's see here. Just analyzing this listing in case anybody else was interested. Scratches on the AR coating. So what the AR coating is, it's the anti-reflective coating on the sapphire crystal. So that's basically like when you're looking at the crystal, they have a special coating that prevents it from showing reflections as severely. But that can get scratched, which will then be visible. It's not a scratch in the crystal, it's a scratch in the coating that's applied. And then also, I mean, it could be wiped away entirely with certain chemicals. So that's a thing to know, which is very common for this watch. I don't know if scratched AR coating is common. for this watch. Especially, I mean, this is a newer like Seamaster. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but running within COSC standard, that's important. That's really good. That means it's not going to need a service sometime soon. Omega service, I mean, you could look it up. It's kind of disclosed in if you have Watch Trading Academy Part 2, there is the BCV charts, and they also explain the service intervals for some of these brands. So if it's running within spec, it's probably still got it. For an Omega, Omega is pretty good about their service intervals. It's probably a couple years before it would need a service, so that's important to know. Comes with box, pictogram card, instruction manual, Joma Shop warranty card that is likely expired. Okay, so this is a gray market watch in the sense that it comes from Joma Shop, not an AD. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. All links included. Really nice of them to disclose this. You, as somebody in the business, should also talk this way, where you're, disclosing what's wrong with it. You've taken the best photos you can, not trying to hide them, but also, with certain lighting, you can make things like look worse than they are. You want to avoid that as well. He's describing where that scratch is. Oh yeah, see, like I said, you can polish off the top layer of AR or have Omega swap out the crystal. Let's see. So this is a good seller. I mean, in the sense that he's disclosing everything. He says he has a Submariner, so that hints that he's got money. If he has a Submariner and this Omega. I think this is kind of weird. Why does it have that letter from a jeweler if it's from Joma Shop? But that black card there looks like a Joma Shop warranty card. That might be maybe something from service or something. He had it serviced at this jeweler. Pretty decent photos. What else you got here? Huh? No, I guess he's maybe not in the business. I'm not sure. Let's see. Rubber strap for his Rolex. Seiko stuff. Grand Seiko. Other watches more than a year ago. So he does a lot of like watch related stuff, right? Some of these more cheaper watches or whatever. So this would be a good person to go after, actually. I'm kind of like concerned though that they might be in Watch Trading Academy. There's just something, man, that name. Just the name, the fact that they have like a picture of themselves on eBay and their verbiage here. But yeah, you should talk to this person. It's not for me. I don't really want a regular Seamaster. Let's see what else we got here. This is a listing I like. This is an auction, otherwise it would be a listing I click on. Not this. Too well done. Somebody in the business. Good shipping price. Photography here kind of hints that it's better. And again, it's an auction. I don't do auctions. You literally have somebody with the jeweler's glove here. So for certain watches, it kind of makes sense to work with a jeweler wholesaler to, there's enough margins where it makes sense. I don't know, Mega Aquaterra, I don't think so. Not for me, at least. Let's see again, $50 shipping. This is a jeweler of some kind. Let's see. Another auction. I don't want to do that. Okay. So nothing here. Nothing crazy, except I think, somebody else should look at this. If I liked, well, okay, I don't dislike Aquaterras, but if this wasn't an auction, I would click on this. The reason I don't want to click on it as an auction is just auctions are on eBay. Auctions are weird, and it's they're waiting for the auction to end to like see what they can get. But you're like, no, I'm offering this if you're willing to close this now, and it's just chances are like a lot of these people like wait until like the last day before the auction ends, and if they still haven't gotten what they wanted, like now they'll actually work with you. But okay, let's see. Another auction here. This is that's not a human hand. What is going on here? Vintage Omega Seamaster Professional Chromometer with an M. 20 bids, it's only up to 120. All right. $9 shipping. A disaster. Don't do that. Okay, let's see here. Again, Aquaterras are fine watches. You just have to buy them at the right price because there's a lot of them out there. And like, I actually really like how they look. I just personally know that they don't. There's a lot of Omegas people prefer instead to buy, especially pre-owned. But there's a couple Aquaterras out there I really like, so I just want to make that clear. It's not a bad watch by any means. And again, if you buy it for the right dollar, everything sells at the right dollar. Good old Moonwatch. That's solid. Never buy quartz. There's no value there, really. This is a cool watch. The white side of the moon, ceramic. I think it looks really cool. I'd put it on a rubber strap or something instead of the white crocodile, the white leather. But I think they're really cool watches. Again, this is probably the exact same jeweler as before. And again, this is not really a piece. I mean, you could maybe work with them on this, but I don't know how motivated they would be, and I don't know how much, if the money would be worth it. Let's see here. I would recognize this photography anywhere. Rinaldi. Yep. I would recognize this wonderful photography anywhere. I've seen his posts in the group. Wow. Wish I was this good. I am not. I think I got the name right. Anthony. Yeah. Cool. Hey, buddy. I think you got this from me. I'm going to call you out right now. The why buy from me, which is not, I mean, it's not the biggest invention in the world that I came up with. I'm willing to bet that you got this from me, though. Yeah. Yep. Oh, I said Anthony Rinaldi. It's not Anthony Rinaldi. I know who this is. I can, yeah, it's. Actually, PJ on today's Mastermind said that there was a new 100K club member. I don't know who it is yet. My guess was actually you, because I've seen, kind of your more recent trades here. So, I see you doing well. So yeah, this is somebody in Watch Trading Academy. I guess this is a good thing to highlight. Like basically how he's doing a great job here. Because look at how good these photos are. They take up the whole screen. They're perfectly sized. They're very like eye catching. Like you see this and you like see the gold and you're like, wow, like this looks really awesome. Even if you're like not even in the market for this, you're gonna click on it, right? This is a really dope Ulysse Nardin he's got here. Which honestly, like this would be such a like this is what I would wear to network if I had a piece like this because it's like easy, like it's very attention grabbing, and at that dollar, I mean, if I was a retail collector of sorts, I think this is a amazing watch at that dollar. Like what do you get for paying $9,000 is a dive watch that's like super unique and very intricate. Excuse me. IWC engineer. I almost bought one of these. I wish the guy worked with me a little bit and I got it, but this is a cool watch. But you see how all these photos, for the most part, like, I mean, you saw it right there. I saw the photo and I instantly knew that I knew who this was, and I was right. It was exactly who I thought it was off of just their photo of a watch. Right, that's where you kind of and you have to like figure out what your own thing is. But all of the top traders, we can all and I'm sorry, top traders in Watch Trading Academy as soon as I see their photos, I can tell when it's someone's watch, like because I've seen their listings enough. Like everybody has their own little style as they buy and sell. They kind of fall into these habits and they take photos a certain way. Uh, and so just from the photography alone, you can tell this is who it is. But yeah, so yeah, great listing. Like me, his listing's a little long. Again, I don't know if that's like a good or bad thing. Some people like to have all the details. Some people just want the short and sweet, like literally just this information and a price. It is what it is. Uh, Very intelligent listing here. This is also a policy that a lot of us have about essentially having a warranty guaranteed by ourselves. Okay, enough fanboying over other people in Watch Trading Academy. Let's see what else comes up from this listing. I don't know if I'm ready for a rose gold omega. That's a niche buyer for sure. $100 shipping. That's kind of interesting. Just want to investigate that. Yeah, it takes a very certain buyer to buy a solid gold moon watch. They're gangster, whoever they are. That's a dealer, but I'll still check out that listing anyway. Alright, this is a pawn shop, so immediately out. And yeah, it's a bid, like I said. Don't do bids. So yeah, this is a very like pawn shop style listing. Why you would sell your watch to a pawn shop instead of like a gray market dealer or a regular dealer is kind of beyond me. Well, I know the reason. I mean, if you're really in a pinch, you run to a pawn shop and you just sell your watch, and they don't know the market and stuff, so they're gonna buy it stupid aggressively, where they're guaranteed to make money because they bought it so aggressive. And if they don't do a lot of watches, if they're just like a everything pawn shop, they're just gonna throw that up on a bid and just it sells to whoever it sells to. That's another Seamaster. Let's see. So I know like some people start out trading or at least start out trying to become dealers by like buying from pawn shops and stuff. Like something I've noticed from a lot of people that join Watch Trading Academy, and we get a lot of people that join during the sales. Uh, One, a lot of people like do not finish watching the videos and they go out and like try and hunt watches and piss off a bunch of dealers because they're like, who are these like morons coming out of nowhere offering crazy numbers that are like baseless, and it's because they didn't finish the full training, and then um, yeah, it's just like if you buy a course, go through the whole course, preferably twice. Like you should go through it once and then go through it a second time. This time taking notes, and you're much better off than just diving into it. But a problem I notice with a lot of people that take like an online course like Watch Trading Academy, they'll go through the course and then for some reason their mind and I did this too, like in my head I immediately jumped to like, oh well, everybody else is like searching for deals on eBay, let me try and reinvent the wheel, I'll go find stuff at a pawn shop instead. Which, I mean, it's possible. Is it the best use of your time? I don't think so. There's enough watches for sale online as is, so I just don't see the need. Like, do not when you're new to anything, when you've just taken a course, like there's no you have no business trying to reinvent the wheel because you haven't even like learned the game yet. It would be like going through law school and then coming up with your own way of how to do how to practice law. Like you haven't like actually done it. You just went to school. You haven't actually like done it yet. Like why would you try and reinvent how to practice law? You have no basis for doing that, right? But for some reason, and again, I'm here with you. Like I did my mind went to the same thing. Let me try and find like these other ways that nobody's thought of to do this, and there's just no reason to do that. Like stick to what you've been taught. So, okay. Seamaster, don't care. Moonwatch. This is a great listing to go after. Like with all Omega Speedmaster Moonwatches, probably the most important detail is uh, if it is a double sapphire sandwich or if it's Hesselite, which is the material for the crystal. This person has the pictograms and the warranty card. 1861 caliber movement. That's nice. That's what these are famous for. All right, I love listings like this. Maybe English isn't this person's first language just because of how they're typing. Maybe they're old or something. I don't know. But this is exactly the kind of listing I'm going for. No other watches for sale. 135 people watching, though. I wouldn't be surprised if this already sold. They're now local to me, Miami Beach. I'm in the area now. Join the other people leaving Illinois to move to Florida. Not for the same reasons as most of them. No recent feedback. So, I mean, having 135 watchers, this should have sold by now. So I have a feeling maybe he's like left the ad up or something, but I'll hit this person up. Or they might, it's possible they don't understand the market, so I would have to do a little bit more research into this because I don't remember off the top of my head, but different moonwatches trade for different values. Like even though they look the exact same, like different reference moonwatches, like if they're vintage versus like newer, right? They trade for different values. This person may see that some moonwatches out there sell around this, and they might just be like woefully off the price. I'm not claiming that. Like I'm just saying it's a possibility as to why this wouldn't have already sold with 135 watchers. Maybe it's sold elsewhere and they just haven't taken the listing down. Okay. This watch is in Britain, so it's of no use to me. I do not. There's never going to be enough money in a moonwatch to do an international deal. AB Horology, I know who that is. We follow each other on Instagram, and we're friends on Facebook. Pretty good photo. I mean, this is like a good photo. I think it could be better. Yeah, like I mean, yeah, that reflection of the light you're using. Hmm. Like this photo here maybe would have been a better front photo of the watch. Wow, the moon looks really cool in this one. See the moon phase at the bottom? I would have made this your first photo, and figure out your image settings so that it takes up like the whole, so it's properly sized for eBay. There's certain settings that makes eBay very happy. This is two tone. Maybe it's the editing, but it's a little. I mean, I could tell from the beginning because of this piece right here, but sometimes it's hard to tell it's two tone based on these photos. But this is a hot watch. See, I'm also long eBay description gang. I don't know if it is the most effective, so I can't comment. But mine are also long like that. Sponsored items I don't care about. Oh, I want one of these so bad. Hello. Hello. I like this listing. Okay, no other questions. All right, I'm going to pocket this listing. We'll reach out to that person tonight. Maybe on this call, maybe not. Man, it's not in the US. It's in Canada. If you're in Canada, somebody buy this watch. Okay, if anybody's watching this in the future, near future, the way this listing is, it's perfect for somebody in Canada. Go buy this watch. Make sure it's like running well because these are a little bit older. Like, make sure it's like running well, or if it needs to be serviced, factor that into the price. Maybe get it polished. Let me see. So it's, maybe, maybe not. And then go buy like a pre-owned like Omega box, the one that would have come with this. My guess is the red Omega box. Like, try and find that, and then sell this as like watch and box. And these are so hot. Well, you can't even tell from this photo, but those hands and stuff are actually like blue. It's really nice, blue and white with a moon phase. I want one, just it needs to be in the US. This person, just because of how they staged the watch, this is probably a somebody in the business. Let's confirm. Okay, here's another broad arrow. Let's see what's going on there. Why is this one listed so high? That's interesting. For the record, I'm like taking my time just because I'm talking about things. Like, if I was just deal hunting on my own, I'd be doing this all very quickly. I'm also trying to make it somewhat entertaining. Triple calendar moon phase. I'm not the guy for this. This is a cool watch. Triple calendar moon phase. Never worked with, what is it? Blancpain? 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 Let's see if anything interesting comes up and related to that. These are cool watches, but just I don't know if I have a buyer for those. This person is selling a Speedmaster they just got from their AD. This person's in the business. Maybe? So, interesting to note, this person is saying they ship same day when payment is received. That's actually not smart, in my opinion. Because like, if you send a wire, it can be reversed same day. It's only until the next business day that a wire is actually your money. Charging $99 for shipping so they can insure the watch for its value with your selected shipping carrier, FedEx or UPS. Unless they have some kind of special account, the cap on FedEx or UPS insurance is $100, and this is a $5,800 purchase. So, again, I don't know if they have like some special situation, but it won't be fully insured unless it, like, if I'm not mistaken, doing this deal on eBay, because you would always do the deal on eBay. When eBay sends you the watch, that's an insured shipment. But this person shipping to eBay with $100 label on the FedEx or the UPS, it will not actually, like, again unless they have some special situation, it won't be insured for that transit from them to eBay's authenticator. You have to use a third party shipping insurer, which would be IFS, which is the best in my opinion. The other option is Parcel Pro, but IFS is where it's at. So, I mean, there's potentially a deal to be had here, but this is somebody that like really knows what they have, and they've probably seen what these are going for. I mean, MSRP on this is 64. They're already listing at 58. I might still be able to come to a deal with this person. Interesting. I want to pocket this listing too. All right. Yeah, like I said, if you're in Canada, grab this and then tell me you have it so I can cry. This is in Japan. Yeah, that's what I thought. I want one of these. This one doesn't have the moon phase on it, but they're still cool. Any more questions, feel free to ask. This is also in Japan. I'm sad. So like I said, I'm taking my time here. I have a feeling these are all going to be in Japan. Everything I'm clicking on right here. I'm going to call it now. Let's see. Yep, Japan. It's got these cool semi or two-tone gold Speedmasters and stuff. And Europe. Cool. Awesome. I've never seen a solid gold Speedmaster like this. Of this older kind. Bummer. Right. We're still not even done searching eBay, and this is just the very first search. And I have 2 people I want to talk to. A good close rate when it comes to people I'm talking to would be something like, or if you're just starting out, a good close rate is like 1 in every 20 people you reach out to. If you get a deal with 1 out of every 20, that is a good sign. I tend to do about like 3 in every 20 that I reach out to, because I'm very selected. Like basically, I only reach out to people where they are like gonna want to work with me. So I pick who I work with, like who I even reach out to, almost probably to a fault. Actually, I might be a little too picky with who I even bother thinking I have a chance of reaching out to and coming to an amicable deal. But okay, this is the general mega search almost coming to an end here. We got a lot of garbage, a lot of these old pieces that nobody wants. This is interesting. Looks really old, but interesting. I'll just check it out. Feeling adventurous today. See, again, I don't know what it is. Under $5,000, so many people do auctions, and they never actually get what they're looking for. Like it's almost never happens. So all right, let's see what we got here. It's a bid, so I don't really see the point here, but that is a really cool watch. Love the colors there. But this strikes me as solidly old, like I would guess 80s, if not older. 80s or 70s is my guess for this piece. Just based on the case shape and whatnot. Wow, like I would have loved this back in the day. Did it say what year? Oh yeah, what did I say? 80s or 70s? I would have loved this in the 70s, which I was not alive for. The screen recording is super blurry. It would be nice if it was clear. It looks good on my screen. That might just be like YouTube buffering it or something. Let me see here. if I could maybe improve it a little bit. Maybe if I zoom a little, let's see if that helps. Okay, can you still see? Let's see here. I appreciate you letting me know. Let's see here. How blurry is it? You know, that stream blurriness on YouTube, that could be a couple things. I'm in an Airbnb at the moment. Normally, I have an Ethernet cord hooked up to the Wi-Fi. Right now, I'm off of just Wi-Fi streaming, so the upload speed might not be great. That might be causing the issue. Uh, it's usually better when I'm at my apartment in Illinois, and then at my place here, I'll make sure I have really good internet or whatever. But yeah, I think it's just because I'm on the Wi-Fi and I'm doing this whole stream via Wi-Fi. But I zoomed in a little bit, and it on my screen it looks a little bit better. But I do recognize what you're saying. But okay, you're saying it looks a lot better. Awesome. Okay, but wow, this is a cool watch. Just doesn't fit the model though, so I can't really do much with it. Like I would have to have. There's a bunch of other things I would buy first before I bought that. It would be nice to have though. I just would have to justify it. This doesn't look real to me. Omega Seamaster automatic, like this. Yeah, that's I don't know, man. That's if this is a real Omega, I would be extremely disappointed in the brand. I don't know why I'm saying that. There's no way. You can tell for a couple. I mean, this is like a. I might make myself look dumb here if this is somehow real, but I don't think Omega would sell it this way. So you have like a ceramic looking bezel for this watch, but the hands of the watch, and especially the date wheel, look really old. The 007, like the actual like metallic piece underneath the worn wording of chronometer, that's normally seen in like a Planet Ocean like Skyfall, and they normally like put that in the 7. Like I don't think for the Seamaster, the regular 007 Seamasters that they ever had it like that. And then in general, like you just look at this and like see the low quality. Um, yeah, like that. That gem is sticking out. It's an odd shape, and then again, like this movement clearly doesn't fit in here. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if this was either like a really dirt cheap old Omega movement, or more likely, um, a fake movement, and they just put like an Omega rotor on it, like a fake like Chinese cheap movement, and then they just put that fake rotor on. So yeah, this is like a garbage fake. Like it doesn't even have the Omega logo on the clasp here, as you can see. So yeah, this is a like New York City street corner store trash. Like yeah, if this is real, I don't know if I'll ever buy an Omega again. That's how bad of a fake it is. Is that Omega should be ashamed if they ever made that actual thing. Like see, like these hands are more time appropriate. Like like these are the hands that the Seamasters had in the early 2000s, but then the bezel on this thing is trying to copy the newer Seamasters. That the hands, they're the same shape, but they wouldn't be that worn and old looking. And the dial, the date wheel that they've used, that's like not a font I've seen. Like that doesn't like fit in this watch at all. This is a Frankenstein like garbage fake. So said what I said. Right. Alright, so that was a general Omega search. Now we'll get a little bit more specific here. The time-tested Planet Ocean. Let's see what comes up for Planet Oceans. It's sponsored, but this is a listing I like. Let's see. Let's maybe pick up the pace a little bit here. This is a listing I like. This one. Wow. Lots of good stuff here. I would pick this one if it wasn't an auction. This looks a lot like the first time I listed a watch for sale on eBay after going through the course. Looks a lot like my first one. $2,999. That wasn't a diss or anything. I mean, especially if you're like not in the business, like this is a pretty solid attempt here. Okay, let's see. Wow. I think on the last live I said I was going to buy, not this exact listing, but I was going to buy this watch. I think I'm going to still try and make that happen if it's still up. If it's been up for a month and hasn't sold, yeah, they're probably itching to let that go now. This is solid. Pricing is a little wild on these. It's crazy. I have to reevaluate the numbers there. Or reevaluate like the numbers I have in my head of what these normally buy and sell for based on the current market. Here's another example of like just from that listing, I instantly know who that is. Not a big fan of especially on an Omega, like a diamond bezel. For diamonds, you need to have like a certain buyer base. Like if you, I mean, if you have the connections to like sell those properly, I'm sure the margins are great, but it's a very limited buyer pool. Hello. Let's see. I have my doubts on this one, but try it. Wow. This is like the first time in a long time I've searched Planet Ocean, and there's a lot of listings I thought were like worth looking at. Like this is way more than normal. How many people in Watch Trading Academy like to sit and complain that there's not enough deals to go around, and they feel like they need to reinvent the wheel? And I'm like clicking like everybody I've clicked on so far is like someone I'm pretty confident that like unless there's a red flag or something, I would talk to them. And again, like if you close 1 out of 20, well, here we have like 10 already. This one. I said I'd pick up the pace, right? So I clicked on a bunch of these already, but I'm going to pass on this one, even though I think this is probably worth clicking on too. Skyfall, want that one. I don't think this is Parker, but this is how Parker would photograph his watch. It is in fact Parker. Wow. I don't know how many times I got to prove it right. I should have been following Parker though, unless he made a new account or something. I feel like I've seen this photo before. Let's check it out anyway. Let's check this one out. Dude, what is going on? I've never clicked on this many Planet Oceans while looking for Planet Oceans. And I'm only clicking on them because I think there's even like a chance that we'd come to a deal and it would work. This one I have my doubts, but it's a cool watch. I've had it before. If anybody in Watch Trading Academy on the Facebook group explains or complains that there's no deals, I might go off on you. I would never actually, but you know what I mean? Like, there's just... Oh, it's 30... Oh, man, if this wasn't 37mm, this would be sweet. I have doubts on this one, but I'll do it anyway. Click on this one. Dude, what is this, man? That's so many, like, potential Planet Oceans that I would buy. This person, some solid effort went into trying to sell this. I wouldn't be surprised if they were new to the business or something. Let's see. 80 watching. Again, why has that not sold? Based on the name, do they sell watches regularly? Breguet stuff. I feel like I clicked on this person's ad for a different watch last time I streamed a month ago. I don't think it was this same watch. But this one is someone I would talk to, but I think there's like a low chance we'd come to a deal. Like, but it's possible. So let me save that one. Woodbury Trading Post. I'm going to say pawn shop or something. Or if that was like a clever name for their watch trading company. You see pawn shop, pawn shop. I'm going to say this is a pawn shop of some kind. Yeah. Yeah. You can just tell by the photos. So the reason I don't work with pawn shops is, one, they have no idea if what they're buying or selling is real or fake. And then, yeah, like this one looks kind of suspicious. People have normally not seen the Planet Ocean chronograph from this generation, but that gem is suspicious. That's not looking too good. The font on the 50 here isn't looking good. The date wheel, the 4 on the date window, that's not looking good. There's a lot of red flags here. Would not be surprised if this was fake, and this pawn shop has no idea that they're selling a fake watch because they don't do watches. This shouldn't have a 007 on the clasp. There's nothing 007. Yeah, this is fake, dude. Like, that date wheel's terrible. The date window, I'm sorry, that's terrible. So yeah, here you have a pawn shop selling a fake. They have no idea. That's why you don't work with pawn shops. That's why you work with like actual people that know what they're doing. Look at also the indicator for the 3 and the 9. Those look off because of how they're like sized, and they don't look like they're placed right. I haven't seen the real version of this watch in a while, but wow. Yeah, I mean, let's do that actually. Let me see if I can pull up exactly what I mean. Yeah, so buy with confidence, and you've got this fake watch there. So let's see, Omega, Planet Ocean, chronograph. Looking for the first generation black one. I'm just pulling it up on the other screen here. Right. See if I can just get the reference number on this, and then it should be easy to do. Okay, 1 second. Trying to get the reference number on this. Sorry, just pulling this up. Okay, cool. Just double check that what I'm looking at is real. See, sorry for the delay, guys. I'm just looking up the real version of this watch so I can show you why this one's fake. Oh. Yeah, now that I'm getting a good look at it, this is like atrocious. Okay, the photos are not loading properly. I pulled up like 4 dealer listings and they've just been bad. Okay, so let's do a little side by side here. All right, look at this. Is that the best photo of the front? Okay. So hopefully now you see these side by side, you can see how alarmingly different they are. Like alarmingly different. So as we said, this is an absolute joke here, where this gem is in the beginning. I mean, that's just it's it's literally like extruded from the bezel instead of being a nice thing there. Uh, as I said, the date window is terribly bad. I mean, the orientation of the date isn't even right, and it's the wrong color. Right? Like, I mean, if this person Googled this watch, they would have noticed that. And then, like I said, look how on this the indices for the 9 and the 3, they're like nice and smooth and symmetrical, and on this, like, this one is smaller than this one, and this one's like kind of pointed down a bit. Uh, like I said, the 50 here, the font is a little wrong. Like, this one should be a little bit more squished than here. And I think it's thinner too. I can't say for sure. Uh, yeah, I mean, this just comes from like being in the game a little bit. Like, I saw this, I instantly saw something was wrong here, just from a quality standpoint. If I take like a good look, like, I'll probably see other issues. Like, let's see. What's hilarious is sometimes these fake manufacturers, they get the subdials wrong, where like the numbers that they count to don't make sense or something. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. But yeah, hopefully you can see, like, yeah, it looks similar, but if you have any idea of like what to look for, it's like not like this immediately should have like waved this watch off, right? Because it's just so wrong compared to this. And then as I mentioned, like, I could tell the font here was off. And then if I had a good photo of the pushers here, you'd notice a significant difference. They're usually like skinnier than the real pushers, but hopefully that helps you get an idea. Yeah, it's hard to like explain here. At this angle, it's like hard to see how like these pushes are not like how they protrude or extrude from the protrude from the case here. It's not, it's just not right. Like, look how nice and balanced this is versus these don't look like they're balanced across. So yeah, there's your spotting your fake. It's pretty easy to do. And again, shouldn't be. I don't have the photo of this. I promise you, there's not a 007 logo on the clasp for this. On other Seamasters, it's possible. On other Planet Oceans, it's possible. Not this one. On the Skyfall, I imagine it is, but not this one. So there you go. Little lesson for you there. So that's garbage. Okay, but let's see who looked at this garbage and looked at other stuff. So yeah, that watch, when someone buys it, it's going to fail authentication, and the pawn shop's screwed. And I don't even need to like look at other Planet Oceans because I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing so far. The other tools I have at my disposal, I mean, once we have like certain watches where I'm like settled on like reaching out to that person, I have the other resources that Watch Trading Academy provides to do my like research and figure out my pricing and whatnot. But I have that on my other screen because I can't share that, obviously. Paid good money for that. Doc Savage 3. They're a doctor of some kind. That might come in handy. Building rapport during negotiations. This is a pretty bad title. It doesn't have like the good use of keywords. Yep, simple description here. Okay, I would want to figure out what this person means by this. Bonus half link on bracelet. So that might mean he may have had like a half link from another watch and put it on here. That is normally not supposed to have. It's sized for a 6.7-inch wrist, which is a little on the small side, just barely. Like 7.25 is normal. I like to have 7.5. I mean, I myself am a 7.5, and I like to only buy watches if they have 7.5 or better, in terms of like their links. But he's saying like links included. So what I think this means is the watch is currently sized for a 6.75-inch wrist, but they have the links to make it full, and they have an extra half link already on the bracelet. That's what I think they mean by this, but you 100% want to clarify, because if they only have enough links to make this fit 6.75-inch wrists, you need to calculate in the fact of I have to now buy the links to make this a 7.25, 7.5 to where the buyer pool gets big enough. But yeah, this is somebody to talk to. See what else they're selling. Seiko. Yeah, so it's looking like a regular person. Exactly who you'd want to talk to. Okay, a couple deals in the past month that went positive. That's a really good sign. So now you know the account has not been hacked. So yep, I'm gonna save this person. All right. I'm waiting on the red flags from all the listings I clicked, and I'm not seeing them. Like, there's so many Planet Oceans here that look like they work. That look like they're worth like reaching out for. Like, that's the most I've ever, while searching for Planet Oceans, that's the most I've ever like opened because I thought like, wow, there's a chance here. I don't remember like what amplitudes are supposed to be, but that rate there is the important piece. I mean, that's just saying it's running like right on the money. That's really important. So what this means is essentially where it says rate there 0s/d, that's seconds per day, and what it means is that as this watch is running currently, this time grapher is saying that in a day it actually won't lose or gain time. Other watches you'll see, you know, they can maybe add or lose a couple seconds a day, and then once they start adding or losing too many seconds every single day, it's time that they need to be serviced. And then watches that are COSC certified, or the other one is like METAS, METAS. Those certifications, they have ranges that the watch needs to be functioning within through all sorts of scenarios, so that it's accurately keeping time for actual like measurement. But yeah, that's how you know where it's at in the whole process of needing service and whatnot. It's a pretty good description here. Mm-mm-mm. See, look at that. Free leverage. Must sell to fund new watch purchase. Free leverage. Johnston, Iowa, fellow Midwesterner. Got a couple watches for sale. So this is also interesting. Okay, cool. They have 3 watches for sale. That might like make you raise an eyebrow, but then you realize like they've got a couple cheap Seikos, and then boom, like this is like a heavy hitting watch for them in their collection, and these are all going towards funding whatever they want next. So I would want to know, hey, what does this person want next? And can they work with me? Could I potentially, hey man, like let's work together. Let me get this aggressive enough that the numbers make sense, and I'll help you get the next thing you're looking for. Like, you could essentially um, trade. If I know what he's looking for and I can get my hands on it, like we could essentially do a trade deal. So, wow. You see the reviews and stuff. Sold to Seiko, Casio, Seiko, some cheap stuff, Ball. Okay. So he's clearly like liquidating. What was it, 6 months ago? He was downsizing his collection, and he bought a bunch of stuff too. All these like cheaper pieces. So even if they were like a wholesaler or hobby trader of sorts, you can see that they primarily are buying and selling, whether it's as a collector or for business purposes, watches under 1,000, and then they have this $4,600 uh, Omega, right? Like that's a huge price differential, right? It's a watch that's 4 or 5x the price of their normal watches that they're working with, and so sometimes apply that example to like wholesalers and dealers where let's say like all of their inventory is 10 grand and they've got like $100,000 watch. Well, they maybe like don't have the experience and network of selling that watch, and they have a lot of money relative to what they have parked in that one watch, and so they might be able to like really work with you. Even a dealer like might be able to really work with you if it's like inventory they don't normally have at a dollar they don't normally have, right? It's almost like imagine like a Toyota dealership that for some reason someone traded into Bugatti, and it's like, and I promise you, like when that happens, the Toyota dealership calls the Bugatti dealership and is like, "Hey, what would you pay for this?" And then they pay like 200 grand, even less than that. And like I know that's a crazy example. Believe it or not, I haven't seen a Bugatti at a Toyota dealership. I have seen certain exotics at car dealerships, at Toyota dealerships, and so there are people out there, man. This is a big world, and one thing I've come to learn is that even some people with money, uh, they'll do crazy things. Like they'll drive their Lambo to the Toyota dealership to trade in instead of trading it into a Lamborghini dealership or trading it in to somebody that's kind of like gray market. Uh, that'll pay them way more. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they have so much money that the convenience of just going to their Toyota dealership is better. So, uh, guys, feel free to keep asking questions. Let's see. Uh, if the viewer count changes, we'll see as they come up. But yeah, this is again looking like somebody I would work with. I would at least like message and try and feel out. Let's see. These photos are pretty good. This person might be a trained seller. Yeah, just the way they phrase this is somebody in the business. Yeah, it's a lot of like the same language that the that resellers like to use, like myself. Let's see other items. Tissot. Yeah, I mean he's probably in like the wholesale groups. That's my guess here. But do I want this? Do I want this piece? Black Dial Seamaster Planet Ocean Newer One leather strap. I don't really care for this. Like I don't really want it. Even if I was to like immediately sell it to the group instead, I just don't I don't think it's a good use of my money. Especially with all the other Omegas I clicked on, like there's got to be better things here. I've clicked on their name before. That's interesting. Condensing my collection and I'm letting go of my baby. Can't really tell with this person. Oh yeah, I clicked on this listing last time. A month ago. 33 watchers. If this hasn't sold, it's been a month now. They might be pretty interested, so I'll keep that one. Leo watches, so they're in the business. This is the... Actually, is this the 42? Looks like the 42. Quantum of Solace. Is this the Quantum of Solace? I don't think it is. They're calling it the Quantum of Solace edition. You would know that from the back. I don't think this is the Planet Ocean Quantum of Solace edition. If it was, I'd be interested. I'm pretty confident this is not the Quantum of Solace edition. Let me pull it up so you guys can see what I mean. Yeah, this is definitely not. That's what I thought. So the real Quantum of Solace edition has like a weave pattern dial to it. It's much more attractive, and literally says Quantum of Solace on the front. So it like the dial of the real Quantum of Solace. Unless this is like the first year they did one, and then the other ones had like a better design to it. But I don't think that's the case. So the normal Quantum of Solace. Which, if you guys are in Watch Trading Academy, this is a good scarcity play. I won't elaborate what that means. If you know, you know. If you're in the course, you know what that means. Alright, here's a really good photo. Pull this up. So, oh, what's going on here? Some garbage website, man. Trying to pull up the Quantum of Solace. Show the people. Alright, here's the photo. So, like, yes, they're black bezel Planet Oceans, but the real Quantum of Solace, or at least the one I'm familiar with, has this textured dial. Looks like reptile skin. This diamond pattern. And then it literally says Quantum of Solace on it, which this one does not. And then We don't have a picture of the case back, but on the case back it would show a 007. So that is why this is not the Quantum of Solace edition, unless they had like a one-off where it was really simple. But I don't think so. I think this is a normal 2201.50. Plus, if it was the Quantum of Solace, it would have a slightly different reference number. So yeah, this is like a 42 millimeter, just regular Planet Ocean. I mean, it's possible they added in James Bond Quantum of Solace just for like keywords, so this would show up in a search. But I don't know. You're kind of like you're verging on misrepresenting the watch, in my opinion. Super Ocean. Let's see. We call this the Omega Planet Ocean Oreo for obvious reasons. It's black and white. I haven't had one of these yet, and I want one. So let's see if there's something here. They have jeweler's gloves on though, so that's probably not happening. Probably not happening. I'm gonna say this is a wholesaler. See what else they have for sale. Yeah, sure enough, a bunch of other like random pieces. I've heard of Arnold and Son. I've never heard of this brand. Yeah, they might be like a niche like wholesaler or something. War times are tough and they can't get a hold of certain other inventory. Haven't done a deal on eBay in a very long time. They may just that's weird. So over a year ago, they were like selling a bunch of pieces. Some interesting pieces here. Elise Nardin Palladium. Some very like tough brands to move here. It's very odd that they haven't done a deal in over a year on a watch. But then they come to sell this one and like they're I mean, maybe they were just doing dealer to like B2B sales on the groups or something because they just got tired of trying to sell to retail. It's possible. This one's like pretty unlikely. Like I'd be really surprised if I got this from this person, but just in case, I'll pocket that one. 39 is a 40 millimeter. I don't want to take that gamble. I like this watch a lot. This is the stainless steel version of the watch I really like. But I don't know about 40 millimeter. I would want 42, 43, 44 personally. I mean, watches are trending down again still, but I'd have to like buy this like pretty aggressive, so I'm gonna pass on this for now. Let me see what else comes up from it. Pretty sure I saved the URL for the other Planet Ocean I was looking at last time, the blue titanium. So if that's still up, I'll go find it. The good stuff. I want to say this person sells stuff, is a reseller of some kind. Maybe not. Maybe I just looked at this person last time. Yeah, I think I did. Maybe just one of many people I never reached out to. Okay, I'll pocket it. Might as well. Neff watches, bummer. In the business. see how much business we talking here. Not a ton of watches on eBay though. This is interesting. Okay, so let's kind of see their history. What kind of watches they normally sell? Invicta, Speedmaster, Invicta, Chrono Swiss, 10K watch. Okay, I was gonna say like maybe if they sold watches and this was like a very expensive piece for them, relatively speaking, for their business, then maybe there might be an angle here. They're probably in the business or new to the business or something. It's very unlikely I would get a deal with them. But I'm gonna kind of go against what I normally do. I'm gonna pocket that just in case they need to liquidate. But if they need to liquidate, they may have they would have just gone to the groups that I'm sure they're a part of. All right, this is Parker. Let's troll Parker. Let's message him something mean. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't waste Parker's time. Surprised you grabbed one of these. I like that watch a lot, but Parker's the man. Parker is the only one in the watch business that I know of that like I don't know anybody that doesn't like him. Like he's the only person that's avoided having like any beef with anybody, which is kind of weird. Like, you know, people in the watch business, we've got egos, we all want to show up to things and see who has like the biggest baddest piece. And then there's Parker, just getting along with everybody and making a lot of money doing it. You know what it is? It's that southern charm. That's what it is, Parker. That's where your success comes from. Interesting. Don't think this one will work, but worth checking out. Also Parker. Should have known. Am I not? Could have sworn I was following Parker's page. Okay. A. Stevenson. See, what am I noticing here? Oh, they're local to me back home. Okay. Detailed description. .46mm, 6.5-inch wrist. Normally not a combo, I see. Plenty of references from previous deals and enthusiast groups. This person's new to the business. No one would talk like that unless they... Let's see. Oops. Yeah, I mean, just the way this person is talking, I want to say they are, like, new to trading. Don't know how else to explain that. So, cool watch. Wow, yawning and it's only 11. That's new. I mean, normally I would go after this, like, if this was someone I couldn't tell was like new to trading, I wouldn't like because they're new to trading. There's like the chance they're in WTA, and I just don't feel like I'm not a celebrity by any means, but like people in WTA know me, and I wouldn't want them like I wouldn't want to somebody new to the business, new to Watch Trading Academy. I as somebody that like people kind of know, right? Like you search my name, a bunch of things come up in that group. I wouldn't want some like, hey man, I'm offering you this, and they just assume that because that's what I'm offering, that like that's what like they bought too high and they're screwed or whatever, so they have to sell to me. Like there's just this like unspoken pressure, which like if you've been in like the group for a while, and I know that you like know your stuff, then like yeah, we'll do business, and like you better know your numbers. There's no excuse. But if you're new, it's just not a. I don't think it's a good look like taking advantage of new people. Not that I see it happen or anything. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of the new people will do deals with other new people, and they'll both like not understand their numbers, and the deal will be a disaster. Like one person will make a lot of money off of like a huge misunderstanding between like both parties as to like what the value of these things are. Uh, but I don't think I've ever seen like somebody in the group like a Parker or or like someone like Parker or at his level, you know, doing a deal with somebody new and kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like the power dynamic there is messed up. Because they're new and they're like trusting that like you know I'm gonna give them like a good deal, which may or may not be true. Like I may need the watch at a certain dollar to fulfill a client or something, so our interests don't align there. Okay, this is a deep black. I like these watches. I don't think a lot of people like these watches. I've got a link here. Alright, just in case I'm being trolled, I'm going to open this link on the other page. Okay, I don't know what they linked. Okay, the link ended up going nowhere. Shipping it will be signatured, required, and insured. Again, unless you have like IFS or Parcel Pro, you can't do that. So let's see, what else have you been selling, good sir, or madam, or anything else? Anyone else? Seller, they sold an Invicta in the last couple months and a PlayStation 5 controller. Cool. Just buyer. Huh. Okay, I might have an angle here. Let's pocket this guy. David Lewis Wood. Movement looks real. This is the 44mm version of the watch I wanted. And it's blue. Now this I can work with. I don't know if that price is solid or not, but we'll figure that out later. Oh, did this person just do it? Wasn't this just at 6? Am I crazy? This person get a deal done like just now? No. Guess I'm dumb. They bought from Joma Shop. Don't know why you would buy from Joma Shop on eBay when you could just buy from Joma Shop's own website. But, okay. Pocketing this one. I have high hopes for that. Motorsport 458. I'm going to say this is a car guy, and they like the Ferrari 458. And again, something to build rapport with during negotiations. Right, if you're new to trading, this is like a great listing for you guys. because this is a Planet Ocean. Everybody likes the Planet Ocean. It's the first generation one. I'm gonna say this is a 45 millimeter. I mean, actually, hold on. I think it's the photo. Something looks wrong about that dial. I'd have to get a better. Let me see these cards. Cards look fine except for the sticker. Maybe that's just the light. I'm gonna assume that's the lighting on the warranty card sticker. Okay, now I can see this better. That like texture you see on the dial, that happens during photos for this watch. No, I think this is fine. I just can't tell what size this is. I want to say it's a 45 because of the space between the date window and the 3 o'clock indicator. Normally, if it's a 42, they're like the date window is like touching the 3 o'clock, but since there's that space, I think this is a 45. This is odd. The 8500 movement? Oh, no, that makes sense. This is the ceramic bezel or liquid metal bezel or whatever. This is like that transitionary period as they went from liquid metal to ceramic. So, okay, no, this makes sense. Yeah. Okay, cool. So the reference number on this is 232 30 46 21 01003. 232 makes sense for being the 8500 movement. That's that right generation. 46, the 30 and then the 46. That 46 means that this is a 45.5 millimeter watch. We call it like the 45 millimeter. So like I said, it is 45 millimeters. Okay, this is someone to look at. Selling to get something more suitable for my wrist size. Watch will come with how I have it. Okay, they have links. Okay, cool. And then the other play here is see their other items. They have another watch that, especially if you're in Watch Trading Academy, you would want because they've got a Seamaster Planet Ocean and they've got a Breitling Super Ocean. 2. Wish it was the Heritage 2, but this is someone you offer like a joint deal to. So you can get both of their would they rather wait for their watches to sell or do they take a deal on both today? One photo kind of worried me though on this. This photo bothers me. Breitlings are normally pretty large sizes. The proportions on this look odd to me. The bezel looks fine, but the actual like dial looks a little odd. So let's look this up. 42 millimeter? I don't know if that looks 42 millimeter. Purchased from Joma Shop. Okay. Do they have the Joma Shop card or something? No. We'll have to see if they have that. Let's see here. Let me see if I can pull up like a real one to see if there's any, if they're just lying. Deliberately or not. Okay, so here's how it's supposed to look. Huh. I guess that is normal. I guess I'd have to see it on my wrist because for some reason, just the way that these are proportioned, it looks like it wears smaller than a 42. Like this looks like a 38 millimeter to watch to me, but it's a 42, which is just like not like Breitlings are normally on the much bigger side, 46, 45, 48. Cool. So yeah, I'm going to talk to this person. Let's offer them a package deal to buy both of their watches aggressively. Again, this is not the price point I want to be buying things at, but I might just like wholesale it really quick to somebody in the group and then let them make some money. Roach 7777. That's somebody that I've definitely seen selling on the forums before. This is a Skyfall. I've really been meaning to get one of these. The watch box is beat up, the cushion or whatever, but I have yet to have one of these, and I'd really like one. Would have been really nice to have it for the final James Bond movie. See how this one has 007 on the class, but if you like rewind back to the fake that I saw, you can just see the quality difference. It says Skyfall on there, and then if you remember, I pointed out how see for the 7 o'clock, it literally has the 007 there. That fake took that piece and put it underneath the word chronometer on that fake. If you rewind the video, so I don't know where they just copied that piece from and then stuck it on there. People are wild. Mm. Yeah, see, they've got a store. Yeah, see? Luxury boutique. All these photos, same exact angle. These look like stock photos. That's what I thought. I was going to say when I first saw that their name, I was like, I've seen this person sell some really high-end stuff on here, on the forums and whatnot. But let's see, they've got a bunch of brand new pieces. These look like stock photos, but they're all taken at this certain angle. I don't even know, man. They've got an FP Journe, right? Like, this is no joke. Patek Philippe Nautilus, a 5980. Annual calendar, Patek Philippe, Hermes. I mean, actually, this person is pretty close to doing like what I want to be. Like, they're a luxury boutique. Like, you can go to this person for all these luxury watches. But they've got this Hermes bag, this Hermes Birkin bag, and then they've got uh, these higher end pieces and whatnot. And if this person was also doing cars, boom, that's exactly who I want to be. If this person also was selling cars on here. All right. So this is like a solid photo shoot. This looks like something somebody in Watch Trading Academy would do to sell this watch. Putting on that orange strap on it. Pretty sure I know who this is. Yep. Why is it not letting me save this person? That's odd. Yeah, see? Smart. See, these photos are the same? Same style. I think they could be better. Like, just the photo quality and stuff in general. Again, if it was sized better and whatnot, but more zoomed in on the watch itself. Like for example, in this photo, I think you could cut out a lot of this like empty space, zoom way more in, like cut out all this empty space, and then make the image itself bigger and fill in this whole box while still retaining the quality. And you can do that by your camera settings and then also uploading it in certain ways to retain that quality. I think it would be much better than this. But this is fine as is. It's fine, but it could be significantly better. Also depends on how much effort you want to put into these things. Hello. This person's smart. I'll tell you why in a second. That listing I just clicked on. Okay. This person sees this watch. It's orange and it's blue. and they live in Miami, Florida, so local to me. This was the Omega Planet Ocean Good Planet, which is the Good Planet foundation, which was like ecological or like climate change in nature. Like that's what that foundation was about, if I remember right. So this Omega was made in these colors, uh, as part of that. It's got this like special book. Yeah, see, Good Planet Foundation partnership with Omega. Wouldn't be surprised if like all this stuff is recyclable, right? And this person's smart because am I crazy? I could have sworn I just saw it. Okay, they've got a name for themselves. I I could have. Oh yeah. There we go. Omega Planet Ocean. It says New York Mets colors, right? If back in the day, if you go look up like my Omega Planet Ocean Good Planet listing, I used the keywords in that listing. I used Syracuse, Chicago Bears, Illini, the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, like all those teams that are colored like blue and orange, hoping to get like a sports fan to buy, which I don't think ended up happening. But yeah, I know who I sold it to. It would like they weren't any of those sports fans, but like that was my way of marketing the piece was, hey, like, are you a diehard Bears fan? Shouldn't you have a matching watch? For Syracuse fan, like if you went to Syracuse or if you went to Urbana. This person's smart. They got a decent bit of everything, so good on them. All right, no feedback. Man, if this was a 42 millimeter, I don't know who I would sell this to, but I really like the gold Omegas, even though I know most people don't. Well, I apologize for yawning. Mm. Yeah, I don't know who I would sell this to, even if it was the right size, but I really want to own one of these at some point. Watch region, so they're in the business to a degree, blocking out the important details. It's a 44 millimeter. Titanium, huh? Wow, so it's the GMT version of the watch I've had before. Or no, if it's 44? Hmm. Yada yada. Can't come to a deal with this person, but it is what it is. Wow, lots of stuff. Let's see if I can get a residual piece. I think I've clicked on this before already. Hello. Yeah, duh. Okay, watch. Okay, this is their other listing, I guess. Wow, they really like these blue titanium Planet Oceans. Can you leave some for the rest of us, my guy? Actually, let me get that tab back. Let me see if there's anything related. So I guess these are all his listings, just the way he's taking his photo. I apologize for yawning. I don't know why I'm that tired. It's a nice looking moon watch. This is in Japan, it looks like, just from the photo. They prove my knowledge. Boom, Japan. Just from the photo, I can tell it's from Japan. A lot of like other dealers would be able to too. You just pick up on these things. Also Japan, darn it. Darn it. Another watch company. Darn it. Unlikely to come to a deal. Okay. Dumping that. Look at all these tabs I have open of all these people I think are worth talking to. And I'm still just collecting leads. I have so much more to do here. I mean, let's see here. From Omega. So I think I'll do is like for the rest of the pot, like I'll just keep looking at watches and I'll store all these, and then maybe I'll hop back online or I'll message all of them. Yeah, I don't think you guys need to see me like message these people. I know you'd like to see how I negotiate, but trade secret. All right. Let's look at some of the other more interesting the brands for Omega. Always have to check if one's there. Someday it'll be here. One of these. But in America and, you know, at a price I can do. Let's see here. $9 in the US. A bunch of these are probably fake listings. They're bait and switch listings. Yeah, I mean. Oh, let's see. Watch Recon. November 27th, 2021. Not the Aventurine dial. Oh, no way. Are you kidding? Someone had one February 8th? Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, dude, I'm so dumb. I could have bought this for $8,000 last year. Not this exact listing, but I remember seeing one of these for sale, like early 2021. I could have. I think like it's a very sad story. They had a listing. They were like listed at like 81 on a bunch of different sites, and I found them, and I was like, hey man, on all those sites you're listed for after fees, you will have less money than what I just offered you cash. I think I offered them like 74 or something, and they were listed online everywhere at 79.81 or something. And so like after fees and shipping and blah blah blah, like they would have had gotten less than 74. I'm making the numbers up, but like you get the idea. And like they didn't understand that I was literally offering them more money than they were going to net selling on any of those various places that they were listed on. So I did not get the watch at 74. I think it was 74, somewhere around there. Maybe 84. I don't remember. The point is it would have been a great deal. I've really wanted this watch for some time. This would be a watch that if I was to buy it, I'd hold for a decent bit. Um, I feel like it'd be a great conversation starter, and I'd be very happy owning this. But maybe maybe after a successful year of being a full-time trader, I will buy myself one of these as a reward for like keeps and like a permanent collection. But we'll see. I mean, look at this thing, man. Soon, soon. That's a bummer. Let's see. Okay. But still, lots of Omegas to look at, and I still have to go through Panerai. I still have to go through IWC, Ulysse Nardin, Breitling, like, and I already have so many leads. So I really think between everything, it should be pretty easy to spend that 50 grand. Um, Once I get through Panerai, I will I'll probably prioritize like I definitely want another Panerai. Always make really good money on Panerais, and then because again, like I said, I'm trying to stay above 5K, and I just spent all this time looking at all these like cheap watches that are under 5. I would just get rid of those real quick just to have some cash flow. But okay, let's see what we have for Omega Speedmaster. Mm-mm. So I think I'm off to a hot start. Every time I've done a live stream, there's been at least one person that shows up, which is better than than a lot of people that live stream. As sad as that is, I have an unfair advantage. People from Watch Trading Academy follow me, and other various traders and whatnot. Sponsored listing. I'll actually give that one a shot. Bid, no. Nope, nope. This is cool. These are newer. Is that the same person as this? I think it is. Big Box Speedmaster. Speedmaster reduced. These are cool. These have like a pretty niche following just because they're so unique. The crazy case shape. Yeah, the Mark II. Let's take a look at this one. I don't think it'll work, but I'm just clicking on it just to show. White side of the moon. Yes, please. I've had one of these before. They're cool watches. I mean, you get a lot of a lot of complications for the money, but just again, you're buying something that's like cheap. Like this will sell for under 2,500 if it's a full set. Under 2,700 for sure as a full set. And again, service might be 400. So there goes your margin. So a lot of the times it's not worth it. This is cool. It's a good listing to go after. Yeah, I mean, I got the capital now, so I might as well go for something like this. Speedmaster reduced. Sure. Not the deal size that I was talking about focusing on, but just add it to the list. You never know. Just get in and out of that instantaneously. Dark Side of the Moon. I have doubts about this one, but let's check. Doubts as in I don't think I'll come to a deal. Big box Speedmaster. Discontinued. Interesting. So Speedmasters are a double-edged sword, right? Like, everybody wants one, but there's also so many of them for sale that are all barely different than the others, and so the margins tend to be a little bit smaller. But they do, I mean, it's one of few Omegas that like sells itself in the same way that a Rolex does, because so many people want a Moonwatch. I'm a former engineer, so it appeals to me for a variety of reasons. I've clicked on this before. I wonder why I didn't buy, or didn't reach out. Excuse me. All right, I guess let's look through these Speedmasters here. This one is wow. Okay. This is like the worst condition I've ever seen a crystal in, and I've been around. That's wow. Located in New York. Don't know the exact model number, but it's 100% authentic. Sure. Hesselite crystal scratched on the picture. That is not just a scratch, my friend. That you guys see this, right? Like, well, I guess with the overlay, maybe you can't. You can. Just, just wow. I mean, those aren't scratches. That's a disaster. I would have to buy this super aggressive. I'd have to wait and pay for swapping the crystal. So, like, it's a double-edged sword. Nobody else is going to buy this, so you can be one of the few people that's going to buy this. But then you have to like wait on it getting fixed and whatnot, getting the Hesselite crystal replaced, which might be hard to do. Don't know if I have the time for that, but wow. Yeah, because it would. I mean, one, I don't even know how easily you could get a Hesselite that fits. I'm assuming the replacement Hesselites for the newer 42mm Moonwatches would fit in this one, regardless of how old it is. I would like to assume that. What is cool about Hesselite is that you can actually like polish isn't the right word, but you can essentially polish down to the Hesselite crystal a little bit. Not for something this severe. Debating, man. Like, I really don't think it's worth tying up my money while that gets fixed. But I mean, I'd have to get it really aggressive because it would have to be worth like not only taking into account I have to get this new crystal, but also the time it takes to replace that crystal. You know, these watch repair places are like super busy. Valuable stock. Big box Moonwatch. Excuse me. They are listing it for MSRP, but hard to come by. They might not be totally off here. I'd have to double. I haven't looked at the Moonwatch market in a while. They sell a bunch of just general luxury items: Salvatore Ferragamo, Warby Parker, Hugo Boss, Goyard, Creed Aventus. Sorry, they sell that stuff. It's very unlikely, but I'll add it to the list. Mark II. Yeah, these have a niche audience for sure. Runs well, not machine tested. Then how do you know? How do you know? You don't. I mean, it works, is what you mean. You will not be disappointed. Try me. No return unless grossly misrepresented. Okay. Let's see here. I did a little bit more research on this piece to really know what I'm dealing with here. $500 transactions. Let's see. Omega. They sold an Omega. Lots of camera lens stuff. It's dope. Okay. This is normally not a model I would go after. But just adding it there. This is a Speedmaster Reduced, I believe. But they've priced it like a Moonwatch. Am I dumb? Is this not a... I actually can't tell. Let's see, how old is this Moonwatch? Sam Puckett flopped. You are the first person to talk to me on Twitch. Sam Puckett flopped. Hi, how are you? I followed. Can I ask you something? Yes, you of course can ask me something. I would be happy to answer you. As long as it's I mean, as long as like I feel I'm confident in the knowledge on it, and then how do I say this? Like, if I'm confident that I have the expertise for it, and then it's not proprietary info. I think I missed this person though. I think when do they send these messages? I can't see the timestamp of when they send them. It took me a second to look at it and respond. But I didn't think I missed them. Okay. So this Moonwatch is from 96. So now we're kind of, again, getting into the problem of like a repair on this is going to take a while and be expensive if it needs a service. So here's the dilemma. Let's see. It's a Hesalite. They want something smaller. Okay. I mean, maybe. This is pretty good condition for being late 90s. Mid to late 90s. I mean, yeah, they could have polished it or whatever, but I mean, typically what you'll see on these like vintage Omegas is on the tachometer, those numbers will be like very faded and stuff. And so for this one to be from the 90s, and based on this reference number, it's from the 90s, like for it to be in that good of shape is kind of impressive. Yeah. Normally, I mean, I wouldn't reach out, but again, I'm feeling a little bit more, you know, I have abundant time now because I do this full time. So I'm willing to talk to so many of these people. I mean, look at all these. So I normally close like 3 and 20. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's just a photo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But this guy had a combo deal with this one. 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, almost there. And I've only done Omega so far. And I'm almost at my threshold for I will have bought, 3 watches if I get to like 20 Omegas that I've pulled aside to message, chances are like 3 of those will close at least. And so that's 3 watches and I've only done Omega. There's still Panerai, there's still Breitling, IWC, Ulysse Nardin, some of the other brands. Like inventory is tough to come by, especially at the high end right now, like because everything is like priced very high. Uh, and at that level, a lot of those people can hold those watches for quite some time until tax time. Some of them might want to liquidate some things. That's also something I want to be like ready for. Is during this tax time to be buying people's watches very aggressively when they have a tax bill due. Speedmaster Racing. These are fine if just bought properly. Let's see. Start the new year in style. It's March, man. You must have had this watch listed for a while. Let's see. So I think this person did an auction. It didn't go well. They changed it to not an auction. It's been sitting here for months, but like they probably like actually sold it elsewhere. But by the off chance they still have this. Ooh. Yeah, 43 watching, that should have sold. I forgot to say Hublot. We still got to look at Hublots today. See what's going on here. Start the new year in style, huh? Okay, maybe they just copy and paste stuff. I want this. I would want it for significantly less than 10.7. Assuming it's real. See, nothing looks off there. Just realized how hard it is for you guys to see me if I sit back. I've wanted one of these. Let me see. There might be some damage there. Looks alright. International. The card's important. But again, Hublots are... There's some really good Hublot fakes out there. But I will save this for later. Actually, let me investigate this person. Selling 2 watches. They sold a bunch of Lego stuff. Okay. All right, let's hold on to this. Okay, this is a textbook like easy listing for someone to go after. This one's scary though because it's like a Speedmaster reduced and it's looks like it's naked. Or was that just the card? Those ancient cards. I'd have to do some research on is this actually what cards looked like back in the day for Omega? I think that's right. If they did cards like this. But again, you run into the issue of like this. I need to know this is like working really well. I'm not super expert on the accuracy. Well, that is the biggest problem. I would ask this person to like go into their watchmaker and have it tested before I bought this, but you know what? Again, something I could like offer to the group wholesale, like for like low wholesale, so that they have a chance to make some money on it, like decent money. Dark Side of the Moon. I've been wanting to have one of these for quite some time, and I still haven't had one. I want the blue side of the moon more than anything, but let's see. This is looking good. This is like the first time. They sell a bunch of stuff. Looks like it's mostly sneakers. Okay. Interesting. Wolf Watchwinder, huh? Might be able to work something out here. Casio. Yeah, this looks like this person does a lot of like sneakers and then has used that sneaker money for watches every now and then. So cool. This is like the first time in a while I've seen a Dark Side of the Moon where I thought I had like a serious shot, like a decent chance that it could work out and convert. That's a good listing. This is a great listing. By great, I mean terrible. Wow, this is amazing. This person forgot to call this the Dark Side of the Moon in their title. So anybody looking for a Dark Side of the Moon will not find this. Wow. Yet another Dark Side of the Moon. Same day that I think I have a shot at. Let's pocket that guy. And then this one. This is a gray side of the moon. Black dark side of the moon. No, this is a... Oh, I mean, I guess technically it's a type of dark side of the moon that's like all matte. No, but you'd call this the... You'd like colloquially call this the... If I use that word... I don't know if I used that word properly just now, but... we'd call this like the gray side of the moon. Or actually, you know what it is? The gray side of the moon, I think, is slightly different. Like, it's a lighter gray. Yeah, I mean... Okay, yeah. If I remember right, there was a couple variants of the dark side of the moon. There was the normal one that was like black and red, and this one was kind of like a matte black, like all blacked out version of the dark side of the moon. So my bad. It is a dark side of the moon. The gray side of the moon is a much lighter, more metallic gray with like a white looking dial, or like a even lighter gray dial, like very barely tinted gray. And then the other gray side of the moon has some texture to it, has a little bit of gold to it. They're radically different than this one, but this is technically still a dark side of the moon. So wow, this is yet another one. Is this in America? Connecticut. Wow, this is a good day. Like these are all listings I can work with, man. Like it's like so many times I've looked for the dark side of the moon and it's always been like, you know, hard to come by. I forgot if I called this one something I could work with. I think I can. Okay. Still going, man. Lots of watches here. Sapphire Sandwich, the new 3861 movement. Well, old but new. And then it's got an open case pack, which is really nice. And of course, the big collector's pack. If there was one Omega Speedmaster that I would get, if you're like a long-term collector, I think it is this big box set, double sapphire with the open case back, display case back, because I think um, the newer Speedmasters, I feel like they're gonna move away from the big box. Like basically, they didn't have a big box. Then for a period of time, they did have a big box, and then they're gonna like move on to something else and not have the big box. So out of all this moon watches available, years from now, people will look back and be like, "Wow, this was the one narrow band of time they offered this like really cool box for the moon watch." And so if I was gonna collect a watch like very long term to like pass down, I would do what I could to get one of these big box sets and like preserve it like crazy. And 20 years from now, on whatever, if we're still all alive, uh, I'm sure it would be considered special by enthusiasts. Mm, selling it because they already bought a Grand Seiko and they need to sell this to offset the cost. Motivated seller. 44 watching. I'm surprised it hasn't moved then. Well, not optimistic about it, but I'll pocket it. Okay, I clicked on this listing before. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, that's why. Don't know how solid how popular, like how well I could sell this piece. Bird is a cool watch. I am a true enthusiast and a motivated seller. Neat. All right. I mean, let's add it to the list. I have the capital. Okay, that was so. I have all these listings that I think are like likely closes for the most part, except a handful of them, and I have only gone through Omega, Omega Planet Ocean, and Omega Speedmaster. It's gonna be a long night. I've been streaming for like 3 hours, I think, almost 3 hours. And again, I'm doing this very slow. I don't know who else would be awake at this time, but Sam Puckett, I wish you stayed so I could have answered your question. I really want to know what it is, but join me next time or message me on Instagram at Mohimedia, Mohimedia, and then I'd be happy to answer your question if I can. But let's see, it is midnight on a Monday, and we still, I mean, sorry, yeah, midnight on a Monday, so technically Tuesday on the East Coast at least, and there is still lots to be done. Normally, this all happens so much faster. Excuse me, so much faster. But I feel like I'm taking my time. I'm talking things through. I'm not just. It'd be a very boring stream if I was just clicking through like a robot. Okay, let's look at Panerai next. And mind you, I've only clicked on like listings that I think are likely to close. I haven't on my previous live stream. I went over a little bit of me crunching some of the numbers, but I can't like share how I crunch the numbers to figure out like what, like before I buy any of these watches, before I even like message the person, I already know what I would like to buy it for and what it will sell for. And whatever that range is, I kind of that again, I also know exactly what's my cutoff for this deal is no longer worth it, even if there is some money to be made. It's it's still not worth it. So again, like some of that stuff is proprietary, so I can't disclose it. Proprietary to Watch Trading Academy, not I didn't come up with it. Um, so it's not. I don't think it'd be too valuable for me on stream to look like I'm crunching the numbers, but not actually crunch the numbers. Or I mean, I'm sorry, not show what numbers I'm actually crunching because I can't. I guess the one thing I can share is, I mean, at the end of the day, these people like watches are listed for a certain price. There's a margin baked in. There's fees. You basically you work backwards to figure that out. But knowing how far to walk backwards is the key, right? And also what data is reliable. And I promise you, it's not eBay sold listings. Like I never use. As you've seen, I literally never look at eBay sold listings. Like I might only after I've done all my number crunching and like something is making me think twice about it. Like I'm kind of like unsure. Like if I can't find data on the Facebook groups, if I can't find data uh, through my other like WTA resources, if I'm still for some reason unsure, I'll take another look just to see if it's in line with my math. But I never look at sold listings. And why is that? Well, sold listings, you do not know under the circumstances of how that deal took place. So a lot of the times, if like an offer was accepted, I mean, there's watches out there that are listed for 20K that I'm not a buyer for until like I'm buying around like 12 or 13 cuz I'm trying to sell for like 15, 16, but they're listed for 20, right? And so if you go on eBay sold listings, you'll see like 20K crossed out deal, and the deal went through. You have no idea if somebody paid 12 or 16. There's a lot of money in between. You actually have no idea what number under 20K that thing sold for. And then in the event that you do see like the actual number because it was like a fixed price listing or whatever, well, that doesn't really help you because was it a retail sale? Was it wholesale? Was it like a dealer trade-in value? Were taxes paid by the parties? Because if they have a reseller cert, they don't have to pay taxes. So is it a deal with taxes? Or is it only a deal? Like, was that sold listing? Did it only work because they weren't paying tax because they have a reseller certificate? Like, you see how you don't actually know the scenario there? It's almost exactly like car auction data that like dealers and flippers will swear by. But if you plan on driving the car for a long period of time, like, people send junk to auction because if it's a really like nice car, it'll sell, right? like 9 out of 10 times, like a really nice car, good spec, good condition, sells itself, especially an exotic or something. And so when you see one at auction, I mean, a lot of times like you're taking a stab in the dark, and you know, yeah, I know there's like a rating for like condition and stuff, but like as we just saw, like sometimes like people don't actually like really know what they're selling and don't know what to look for. So take that out how you may. But all right, let's look at some Panerai. We are at the 3-hour mark. Let's go. I'm going to cut this into so much content clips. Okay, sponsored listings I'll avoid. Canada. It's a bid. PAM 24. Look at that. $176. That looks fine. Not my style. This is a Not 1312. It's got the power reserve. What is this one? I just need to double check. Yeah, 1321. Yeah, because it has the power reserve. I've had a. Well, no, I haven't had a 321 before actually, or a 1321. 177. Auction. I mean, I wouldn't go for that anyway because it's an auction. If it wasn't an auction, I'd go for it. 111. 88. But something tells me I'm not going to like this listing. But I like the PAM 88. I don't think I'm going to like this listing, but 312. 1393. This is hot because of that blue. Since it's like the whole buying like almost like new Panerai, I can't do it. I'm not confident enough in myself for figuring out the pricing on those new pieces. I know some people like them, but it makes sense for like new Rolex or whatever. But I don't know about like new Panerai. I don't. Because if I could explain real quick, you have a brand new price for a watch, MSRP, but then it gets discounted in normal markets. Then you have a pre-owned market for the watch, right? But now you're selling this Panerai, and the key thing is that it's a Panerai. Like Rolex, again, different story, just because of how high the demand is for the brand. But if you have this Panerai that's like new, but it's not new because the stickers are off and everything, blah blah blah. It's not like a collector's item like a Rolex is, and so the price of it is getting squeezed. It has this ceiling, which is MSRP, and then another ceiling of a lower ceiling even of like MSRP minus like a typical discount for that model. Which I don't know, like the blue dial, it's probably pretty hot. Maybe they might not be discounting it. And then so you have this like new Panerai here. You have the ceiling of like its MSRP plus any discount, and then as a floor here you have I'm sorry, it doesn't act as a floor because you have a like new Panerai. You have these like lower end Panerai that you could just polish to the same condition as this one, but you would have bought it significantly cheaper. So like that doesn't. There is a market for selling like new Breitling or like new Panerai. You can do it for sure, but I just don't. I haven't, like, it doesn't fit my style at all. It's a really hot watch though. I would like this watch. There's an off chance though that this person's. I mean, they kind of look like they're in the. I'll investigate it. I have my doubts. I know this listing. I did not know these came in a white dial. This is fake. This has to be fake. There's just no way. Hold on. Or it's vintage. This could be vintage, but I don't like very old. You've got okay. Thought it was fake. I go look at it. The pieces look like super old, so I'm like, okay, like there is some old Panerai out there that like I just have no clue, right? Then you look at the case back on this thing, and it's the case back for a Seamaster, but like the finish is wrong because it's a polished finish, and it says Dark Side of the Moon. Bro, who buys this? Wait, did they take a photo of the wrong watch? Oh, they just okay. My bad. They randomly uploaded a photo of what probably is another. I mean, it has to be another fake watch. The Dark Side of the Moon does not have this case back at all. Uh, yeah, I guess like in their upload for the Panerai, they threw in this fake Omega, which now makes me want to confirm that this is also fake. Yeah, that crown is like off. Like the underside view here, that doesn't look right. Wow. Okay. This is why you work with someone like me, because I can just instantly spot garbage. Doesn't have to be me, but somebody like me. Please work with somebody. Get somebody to be your watch guy. Unique timepiece, yeah, so they're... Do I know who this is? Miami, Florida. I probably do. Oh, they got a jewelry box. It's a jewelry store in Miami. $233. That's a good watch, but in jeweler hands. Pamo 5. Good watch, but again, auction. Bronzo's really cool. I think this is a trader. Okay, now we're talking. Bro, there's so many listings. Like, go back and watch my previous like deal hunting stream from a month ago. Like, I wasn't clicking on this many. And no, this is not some like I mean, I don't think this is a huge sell-off from international issues or anything, or the economy hasn't gone into a recession yet. Probably will this year, but wow, just there's so many deals to be had. And you might be saying, "Hey, that's all talk. You haven't talked to any of these people. You haven't closed." Try me. I will be back next week. We'll see how many of these I ended up picking up. $220 Panerai Luminor 510. Not too familiar with the 510. Could work. I will consult my tables. No. I mean, you could probably make the 510 work, but just, priorities. Probably not. I'm not going to like that listing. But I clicked it anyway just in case. Wasting a couple seconds looking at a listing that's not worthwhile is one thing, but missing it altogether is sad. So that's why every now and then I'll just click these. Blue dial, it's hot, but I mean, I'll take a quick look, but radio mirrors are becoming popular because of the luminors, like, that people really want, they can't get. or they're like priced too high or something, so they're switching to radio mirrors. Not, I mean, it's a micro trend, not a macro trend by any mean. Like people that really want the 1950 case Luminor, they will just save up and get that one. But I mean, some people are just kind of changing their mind about the radio mirror. But I totally understand like not wanting to get a radio mirror. Okay. Sponsored listing, that means it's going to be in the hands of somebody that's not going to want to work with me most of the time. To the 312. Oh, it's on auction, darn it. What is this? This is like Abyss Black, like Panerai. Wow, never seen that. Jeweler glove. This is a PAM. It's not a PAM 9. I don't think the PAM 90 had a GMT hand. What is this one? I'm slipping. Yeah, 321. That makes sense. Duh, I've seen one already today. Should have known that. Hmm. Wow, that's a lot of Panerai. All right, let's see here. 24. Looks really nice. A little too nice, actually. Full serviced. Oh no. Just came back from service and he's selling it. So sad. No wonder it looks flawless. Wow, freshly serviced Panerai. Amazing. Okay, let's add that to the list. Autoid store. What is this? What have I stumbled upon? Is this some kind of photography? Like like film photography? Like old school? Wow, it is. It's gotta be, right? That's what I'm looking at here. These are like this is like office supplies. Thermal labels and stuff like that. Lamination stuff? Oh, am I wrong? Was it like laminate instead of color ribbon? What is this for? I'm just curious at this point. Yeah, because that's like it's like the size of how I remember in like old cameras, the film that they'd have in them. But what is this? It's a color ribbon, or it's for a printer. Okay, all right. Oh, I did not mean to exit out of this. Okay, great. This person is in business. This is a business person. Oh, actually, oh, I got rid of that listing, but I could use it to find others. Nice replica. How is that a review of the one? Is this the 111? Is a real Panerai? There's no way. Okay. Anyway, 176, 321, but this looks like some kind of seller. Milgauss. So a fan of the Rolex Milgauss. Alright, I think after I'm like done looking through these Panerai, I'll end the stream. I'm gonna keep like powering through. Look through a bunch of like Hublots and IWC and Elise Nardin, and then from there, let's see what I end up actually having on me, because I need to buy them like ASAP. Like I need inventory. Can't be the watch guy without an inventory. So let's pocket this. That's fine. Let's delete this. Okay, this is a seller of sorts, because I remember this name from. Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. I remember when I clicked on this, I said, hey, I don't think I'm going to like this. And I was right. It's another seller. Oh, actually, again, let me not lose out on similar models. See, because the shipping is like 50. I know this is somebody in the business. I probably already clicked on this, actually. We'll come there. We'll come to there when we get it. Yep, see, Jules. In the business. Yep. Okay, 312. Boca Raton, Florida. It's a lot of straps. So, here's a bit of advice. When you're selling a Panerai, some straps are nice. A lot of straps, not nice. Because like you might think like, wow, I'm offering them such a great deal. I'm offering them all these 8 straps. Bro, who wants like this many straps? Like who do you think like happens to want all 8 of these and is like really thrilled to have these exact 8? Like, and a lot of times you almost like turn the buyer off because they think they're paying, like part of the settled upon deal, they're paying for straps they didn't want. Right? Do you see the problem? So instead, I would keep these straps for myself, except for like 1 or 2. Like, have the OEM straps for the watch and then throw on like an aftermarket one, or some combination like that. And all these other like 7 I'm going to keep to put on to be the I'm going to keep the 7 to be the extra for my other Panerai. That way I sell 7 watches with the 7 straps instead of trying to force one person to buy all 7. So it helps the marketing of the other watches, and then uh, a buyer is more likely to buy. Because I mean, I know so many people like I don't even want these, bro. Like out of all these straps here, don't want the one in the middle. Okay, like black and brown leather, fine. If they're OEM, if they're aftermarket, I mean, okay. Nylon, I guess that's fine, but I can't think of a Panerai that would look good with this nylon strap. This one maybe, the green one here, the greenish one. But yeah, that middle brown leather, that like vintage leather strap looking one, it's not doing anything. If anything, it's turning someone off from your watch. Okay, movement looks fine. Nothing egregious. A little bit of I think that might be hair instead of a scratch. Okay, it's got a butterfly clasp. Those are dope. Couple couple imperfections there, but not bad, honestly. That easy to like. I might be able to polish that myself. Here's some good photos though. Like the angles of them is intelligent. Yeah, this would need. I would want to give this like a light polish, which can cause problems because that might be taking some people like weeks. Up for sale. Okay, yeah, this person sells watches. Let's see. Don't not optimistic about this one. Yeah, see, look, as seller, Seiko, which is whatever, but then you've got Tudor, Bremont, Doxa, Vertex, IWC, Baum and Mercer, Seiko, Vintage Omega, Tudor Heritage. Okay, so a lot of these like sub 2K watches, Hamilton. So maybe this is like their actual watch or whatever. Okay, I'll give this one a shot. I'm not optimistic, but I'll give it a shot. To close. Let's see. Alright, clicked on this one. Let's look at this. Already clicked on this one. $312 with 7 straps. Yeah, I want all 7, bro. Okay, so the person made this mistake here of taking this photo when the hour and minute hands are on top of each other, and so I mean, you never know. It's like some people might see this and be like, "Oh, the watch is broken. It's missing a hand." Next, right? You don't even get a chance to be like, "Oh no, like here it is. Here's a photo. It's fine." You don't even get that chance. Okay, this person's not covering the numbers like they should. So, if you've ever seen like my Panerai listings or other people's, like we'll blur out you see that O, it says O and then 0527 out of 4,000. We will normally blur that first part out and then uh, you know, maybe blur out some of these other numbers. The main point being is giving these like fake manufacturers like less data to make a fake with, right? Because like if that's blocked out, they have to like guess the font of the O, the 0, the 5, the 2, the 7, or scour the internet and try and like put it together, right? Now, worst case scenario, and I've never seen this, but it's possible, right? You have this watch up for sale. Some fake manufacturer is deciding, okay, we want to fake this watch. Now they use yours, right? They use yours to fake it, and so now you're gonna have like a bunch of these, and again, like this is a wild like left field scenario, but you're gonna have all these fakes floating out there with the same series, the O series, and then 527 out of 4,000. You're gonna have a sea of those out there in the world, and yours is the one yours is the only one that's real. And I mean, if the fakes are good, it just causes you problems. You don't want to be that guy defending yourself because there's so many fakes with your number on it. Do you see the problem? Like it so that's why we like to block out numbers. It sounds extreme, I know, I get it, but it takes minimal effort to do that. There might be other reasons as well, but okay, this guy has better strap selection. Honestly, all these straps are fine, but they don't do a lot for me. Excuse me. Five of them are OEM. Oh my, this person's wild, man. Only cosmetic defect is very light surface scratches. Yeah, I mean, Been eyeing the Daytona for a while now. Shipped with USPS. Okay. So my angle here is I come in, I buy this aggressively, I help this person get a Daytona. I don't know which Daytona they want, and they want the couple $1,000s from this to go towards, assuming they still want a Daytona. But yeah, I'd offer helping them get the Daytona. And that way they feel heard because they wrote about it in the description, and I care because I'm trying to solve their problem. They need to sell this. They want to buy the Daytona. Hey, I can help with both. The other guy might be offering you some money, but I can help with both. Like if I'm offering, I don't know, like $4,000 or something, and somebody else is offering 43, well, that's $300. That's nice. But what about like me helping you get the Daytona you're looking for? Like safely get an authentic Daytona that I'm putting my reputation behind for the quality of it, right? Is that worth $300? I don't know. Depends on the person. $359. Don't remember if I want that one or not. Did I almost lost this. I want this one. 359. Lux Romana. I don't want this one. Not that it's a bad watch or anything, just not the style. Especially for a low level like an entry level Panerai, I want the stuff that moves quick, almost sells itself. Because if I'm gonna be, I'd rather, if I'm gonna like work to sell something, I'd rather sell a higher margin piece. Like if I have to put in work to market it, it only makes sense if it's a piece that like I'm gonna make like good money when it sells. You know what I mean? As opposed to putting in the same amount of work like marketing that piece. Ooh, 47 millimeter. I have a client for that. Clicked on that 312 already. Beautiful. Okay, Panerai watch. Missing a lot of keywords here. This is like a 441 or 359. This is another 359. Wow. Yeah, I mean somebody else should come buy this because nobody is going to find this listing ever. And this watch is going to sit and it's not going to sell, and this person's going to get desperate. Yeah. PAM 359. Price is firm. Good luck. I recognize his name, Rick Romana. 372. I've seen this in real life. I've never worn one, but yeah, it's huge because it's 47. Like it takes a big risk to pull this one off. It's from a jeweler, so not gonna work. Okay, that's fine. This person, I think I've seen this photo in Watch Trading Academy. Someone like new. Fitty Luminar Composite. Okay, interesting marketing angle there. Yes. Big guy watches. Nice branding. If you want to focus on the bigger sizes. Yeah, I remember like critiquing this photo forever ago for whoever was this in the group. Let me see what else we got here. Let me take a quick look at this. Watch Chaser. I know who this is. Well, don't know him personally, but 279. So it's like a titanium. It's like a titanium PAM 90 on a metal strap, I think. Yeah. Wait, does the PAM 90 have a power reserve? No, that's the 321 or something. So yeah, this is basically a PAM 90, I think. If it really is 44 millimeter or not. It looks like it's 40. But so does the PAM 90. It looks like it's 40, but it's really 44. But there's metals. For some reason, like nobody wants the metal bracelets on Panerai, but they're effectively the same watch as the leather, like the leather strap version. So there's an angle to be played there. You know, you buy it from the person with the bracelet, put on like a rubber strap, sell it as the other version of the watch. I mean, it is exactly like the other watch. Like that is, unless I'm stupid, like this is essentially a Pam. It's a titanium. Well, okay, it is different because it's titanium, but Panerai has other models where it's the exact same watch. The only difference is it's given a different number for just having a metal bracelet. But you take the metal bracelet off, it's the same watch head as the other model. And so what you can do is like buy the bracelet version aggressively, sell it as the thing that's popular on the leather strap, and then independently sell the metal bracelet and make way more money. That's what you can do. So, pro tip there. And by pro, I mean person who's been full time at this for a day. Captain R. Angel? Captain Angel? I feel like I've seen this person's listings before for other watches. Just based on that table. Armed Forces Pacific? It's going to be tough. PAM 88. Yeah, it's just not worth shipping military stuff from the base. Like, there's a lot of scams involving that. Just not worth the risk. Okay, 112. I would need to take a good look at this movement. It looks fine, but I know this movement is faked. Six straps. Yeah, I want six straps. Four of the straps being authentic Panerai. Can I work with this person? Yes. This one, just gut feeling. I don't think it'll be likely. Discerning time. I think I know who this is. Oh, this is a cool piece. AM PM seconds hand. GMT power reserve. Blue dial. That kind of ruins it. But that like design on the case back, I think, is like not needed. Well, this is hot. You could totally sell this. I think I know who this is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we follow each other on social media. Oh, that one would be a good watch too. Let's see. That's a really good one. Timepiece Utopia. interesting photos here for 1312. Not enough money to go around for one of those. Carbotech. Okay. Sponsored listing, so maybe this person just wants to get rid of it, but I thought they were a dealer. This is the 1661. I really like the 1661. I really want a 1661. He's got everything too. Yeah. Wow. Just really good condition. You don't see that often. So ceramic as a material, and maybe you can see it at the bottom at the 6 o'clock here, but I think that's just like reflections or the crystal or something. But the switch to carbon, ceramic bezels, and then the literal like carbon fiber, carbon case watches here, Carbotech in Panerai case. Uh, the appeal is that it's very hard to scratch, but the point of ceramics is that they're hard to scratch, but if you reach a certain point, they completely fracture. Uh, so they um, so it's a give and take. Like, so when there is damage done to some of these carbon watches, it's like you can't fix it. Like, you can polish out a scratch to a certain degree, uh, for a long time, for years. You can keep polishing. Eventually, you'll wear it down the metal too much, and it'll start like changing the lines and the curvature of the watch or whatever. But with a carbon watch, one of the risks you run is if you really, really mess it up, but a chunk gets taken out, there's nothing to do. It's shattered. It literally fractures. It literally reaches a breaking point. But it takes a lot to get to that breaking point. That's the whole deal. Wow, I think this is actually like pretty well priced at 12K. I'd have to do some math, but like new, worn 3 times. 12K. I don't remember. I'd have to like double check with my resources as to how far off I am from the price I think I need on that. Big GI Joe fan. Sells a lot of GI Joe stuff. A lot of GI Joe stuff. Drives a Porsche. He has Porsche wheels. VW, Mini Cooper, Jeep. Buzzwords. Got a couple cars. Seamaster, Audi. Trying to learn about who this person is. Build rapport. Lego Porsche. Okay, I think he's a Porsche person. GI Joe. This might be one of the rare times that I see a Carbotech that I think someone will work with me on. It's possible. I don't know how motivated they are to sell. Yeah, I keep finding Panerai that could work. This one too. This is a friend of mine. I think so is this. But this guy's at 13.6. This is 11.5. Dealer has it for 12 and 10.5 for this one. It's probably naked. I don't know how a March 2021 watch could be naked, but it's possible. Okay. Around the world. Japan. Sad. Salamanca's watches. I've seen this person's listings before. Yeah, they know what they're doing. David Salamanca. That's a gangster name, man. And, he can ride on Breaking Bad, Salamanca family. But oh my God, we're neighbors. Coconut Creek. This person's literally my neighbor. Wow. At least my neighbor for this location. It shall not be disclosed. Yeah, this person's had like some really cool watches. That's a nice logo. Yeah. Like I like how his logo is not like that's so classy. Like that's a really classy. Like I like that card. Um, it's a very classy logo. Like a lot of people, like you. I mean, I could see someone with like the name Salamanca making like a really cool, like really aggressive and edgy logo and card. But this is like classy. So props to. I actually don't know this person, but props to them. I think they've got some high hitting inventory though, if I remember right. Oh, I mean, it's a good amount. Rolex, Sea Dweller, Two Tone, AP, Roman Dial Datejust, Bronzo, Platinum, Platinum Date 8. I don't know why I missed this the first time. Oh, dude, what? Oh, you know what it is? I just realized why these people are not saved sellers of mine because I'm like logged in, but I'm not actually logged in. So that's why it's wow. Worldwide deals. Okay, that's another 312. Can I corner the 312 market? Let's see, received as buyer. Okay. Something I can work with here. Let me see if there's anything else down here. $351. Been a while since I've had one of these. See, covering up some numbers. It's important. Great. That's a good sign. I've had a 351 before. I liked it a lot. Because it's hard to tell in these photos, but the dial is a tobacco brown and the hands are gold. So if you're intelligent with like the strap you put on it, you can like really make it pop and make it look like really good. Like this just looks fine. Just looks just like a this looks exactly like a 312 or you know other Panerai, but if you can photograph it in the right light where you really show that the hands are gold and the dial is a tobacco brown, not like a light black, and then you pair it with the right strap, not a white strap, the right strap to emphasize that brown and gold. It looks really good. Person looks like a trader. Like they trade watches, I mean. Not a traitor. That's a bit okay. I mean, that was just searching Panerai. there's still a whole list of Panerai, like specific numbers that I want to look for. Um, and then there's still Hublot, there's still Cartier, there's still Breitling, Ulysse Nardin, IWC. I have my hands full, but I have a lot of money to spend. So I think I'm going to cut it there. Because, like, just recording more and more of me hunting. What I might do is I might save these, reach out to them, stream again like tomorrow as I hunt Hublot, IWC, etc. Yeah, maybe I'll just do a follow up stream after I've sent all the messages to these people tonight and tomorrow. I will stream again tomorrow night looking for like the other brands. So let's do that. So kind of just like to update everybody on what's going on. I have switched to trading full time now, which means I am buying these pieces and just like focusing way more on getting them sold soon. So like a lot of last year, I was very passive. I bought watches in the beginning not well. Like I got a little overconfident in my selling ability and was buying high. And then towards the end of the year, I was selling really well again, like really, really good margins and ROI. But, I just wasn't taking it that seriously. Now I'm doing it full time, and I have the capital to do it full time. And so it's a different dynamic, right? Because I'm always trying to be busy, always trying to be buying things and selling them. And then when there's like dead time, what else could I be doing to try and drive business or market or, you know, there's now it's like every waking moment I have to like think about like what else could I be doing, and it could be very lucrative if I play it right. Uh, I will be getting coaching on this because I know what I'm doing, but now like I got bills to pay now with these profits, and also still then have the money to roll over to next month. And there's a strategy of like what do you sell quick, what do you hold on to, what do you invest in more long term. And so I'm gonna pay one of the people in Watch Trading Academy for coaching, Cal, from Night Watch. I'll get his coaching, uh, and then that'll start in April, and that will be so we'll kind of see how my numbers change from March to April versus like when I'm actually getting coached and getting coached full time. And so at the same time, I have a friend who is potentially getting a 100K business loan, but he has an e-commerce business already. That 100K business loan he'll be using to trade part time, but he'll be trading using the more advanced strategies in WTA Part 3 and with PJ coaching him, assuming he gets into PJ's coaching and assuming he gets that business loan and can get in time. So it'll be kind of interesting to compare. I think we'll both be very, very successful. Cal and PJ are world class, but that'll kind of like show you the difference in. I mean, it's interesting, right? 50K in full time with coaching for part 1 and part 2 of Watch Trading Academy versus coaching 100K part time. I'm full time, he's part time, and we'll kind of see how we do. And I told him like, hey, let's make it a little bit of a friendly challenge to hold each other accountable. So I think it'll be interesting to see. Um, and yeah, uh, expect more YouTube videos. Like now, I have all day to make them and edit them, so I will be working on that, start getting those uploaded. Basically, my whole plan was to have a whole like extended library of them done, ready to go, schedule them all to be uploaded nonstop. That way, like they can all be uploading as I'm filming the next set of videos, and then I'm able to respond to comments and stuff because, you know, I'm making the YouTube algorithm happy by posting so consistently. So that's kind of the strategy I came up with. I don't know if it's good or bad, but just what I thought to do. Also, because I wanted to avoid editing for the longest time. Anyway, thank you for watching a 4-hour live stream. My first stream was 2.5 hours. This was 4, and I'm not done. I still have to message all these people tomorrow. I'm gonna hunt for even more. Please do not misunderstand. Uh, this isn't like an all day thing normally. So um, when I was trading part time just to make some extra money, I could just take a Saturday, sit down for 2 hours. I'm not explaining myself. I'm not talking. I'm just clicking through listings and just pulling them apart. And then I message them. 2 hours. 2 hours goes by. I've spent all my money on watches by the end of the week, right? Because as those people like trickle in with their messages, blah blah blah. So do not think that like you need to spend hours and hours and hours searching for watches. I mean, you just saw it was like easy for me, and uh, a lot of those I expect a good amount of those to convert, depending on like how good of a deal I'm willing to take. If I'm willing to meet them in the middle a little bit more often than not, I could close a lot more of them. But I need to be buying very intelligently, right? And varying my brands and my price ranges. There's a whole strategy to portfolio management of what brands do I have in my portfolio, what price ranges are those brands within those brands as well, right? There's Omegas that are 15K and there's Omegas that are 2K, right? And where am I? Do I have a little bit of each or do I have only one, right? And then also, am I buying things with the intention of like flipping them, like wholesaling them, like same day, or am I trying to sell them in 2 weeks to retail? Do I think that they might take a month or two to sell retail, but when they do, it'll be a big payday, right? You got to mix all of that into a ratio and a proportion that works towards hitting your monthly goals. And so, something I need to do actually, and would have been, I didn't have the time before this, but what would have been smart to do before sitting down to do this was really write down like what are my goals now that I'm trading full time. What are my revenue targets? Like, what is my average deal size? What ROI am I going for on my deals? What is my hold time that I'm going for? Plan all of that out with how much money that I need to make by the end of the year. Uh, I didn't want to say this publicly, but I'm going to do it to keep myself accountable. 10 years ago, I promised myself that when I was 27, I would have a Mark IV Supra. Mark IV Supras have appreciated a lot since I was in high school. And so I need to be in a position to honor my word to myself. I need to make that happen this year. Cars are like a bad goal to set. It's not a goal. My goal is to be the Ivy League's watch guy, right? And then my revenue goals for the business are, whatever. But in the back of my mind, I need to be able to, you know, have a Mark IV Supra. And then funny enough, PJ told me in January to put my head down and not look up until I could afford an M8. So me being who I am, I'm saying let's do both this year. Let's get an M8, which will actually be like easier to finance than a Mark IV Supra, from what I know. Um, I might have to do very well to to pull this off, but let's put it out there. Uh, let's try and get a Mark IV Supra and an M8 by the end of the year, which then also means I need a place that can put both of them safely, right? So it'll be a really good story if I pull it off. So let's make it happen. Thank you so much for watching. Uh, this is Mohi from Mohi Media, soon to be the Ivy League's watch guy, and it all starts with this. Here's to a phenomenal 2022 as there's an impending recession, as there's an impending global conflict, uh, like concerns with the U.S. dollar, etc. What a time to be alive. So make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching.